Oh, God. I don't hear Max. You guys are being assholes now.
Yes, we're being assholes right now.
We are.
Such bad liars. Such bad
Not
liars.
muted. Gotcha. That was a little prank on Hawk because he went away to get a drink, and so
He likes to take a
little bit
sweet
of fun.
time.
I couldn't.
Yeah.
I'm not allowed to get a drink.
No. You plan ahead, man.
That's what happens when you go away. You get plotted again. Anyway,
Wow.
welcome to Misfit Saturday Night Live. Appreciate you guys all being here. Let's see. I'll see. Okay, somebody's got to time me. Iguana Bite, son of a rabbit, Nick the best. Gaming with Smokey Dan. Burn.
Should I get my drink right now?
Travelers Travels. Daddy Chill. Double A. Caw Valley Crypto. Trade Like Snipe. Crypto MB. Vinny Del Greco. Thank you for being a member. Appreciate it. Travelers Travels as well. Way Too Fast for You. Crypto Addict. Strange Tamer. Haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you, sir. Air. Daisy Chill. Less the Dog C57. Scott Sheffield. Black Sails. Hawk Tua. Crypto Mining. Bacon, Eggs, and a Hash. Thanks for being a
That's the
member.
best name
Appreciate
ever.
it.
That's awesome.
Alrighty, guys. Appreciate you guys all being here. So let's start with you. I know that you had an exciting day today. Happy birthday to the GOAT. The
it's your
one and only
birthday?
The GOAT.
Yes.
Oh, happy
Yeah.
birthday, bro.
Oh,
I didn't know that.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Happy,
Big 41.
happy
boy.
birthday.
What you been up to today?
We went to the Renaissance Fair and walked around in the heat for like 5.5 hours. It was fun. We do it every year. Usually, I mean, obviously in Georgia, but it was very different here. This place is a lot bigger than the one that's in Atlanta.
I would imagine because it's kind of in the middle of nowhere, isn't it?
Yeah, the one in Atlanta is too. Well, it's south of
okay.
Atlanta. It's
Okay.
yeah. It was about almost 2.5 hours from our house in Georgia. This is like 10 minutes down the road. I love it.
Sweet. Yeah, I know a lot of people that go. They always have a good time. So yeah, it's been around since I think since I was a kid. I mean, and do they say like how many years they've done it?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's been a lot of years, that's for sure. I can't ever remember there not being one.
Yeah, I think next year I'm gonna get the season pass for us because it's literally down the street and it's so fun just people watching.
Right.
You know, like they all dress up and
Everybody dresses up.
they're
Yeah, it's
really
almost like a
into
Comic-Con type of thing.
Yeah, and they have theme weekends too. Like this was opening weekend, but next weekend is like Pirate Weekend, and then there's another one that's like Comic-Con weekend and all that kind of stuff. So it'll be good. It was expensive as fuck to go and eat there though.
Oh, I imagine that's where they make all their money.
Yeah,
Like the only place.
yeah, and they charge you to park. They didn't charge to park in Georgia. Like you just pull into the yard, but here it's like $15 a car.
Yeah, welcome to the Upper Midwest, where they charge parking everywhere you go.
Yes,
It's like Miami.
yeah.
Everywhere you have to pay. Everywhere. There's not
And I passed all of these because I'm coming from one side of Illinois going into southeastern Wisconsin, and I'm passing like all these other entrances that they've already closed down to get into park that are like full, and I'm like, I got a fucking Jeep. I can just drive over that and like park right there. But no, you didn't want to do that, so okay, fine.
Yeah, for those people that don't know, Goat lives right on the Cheddar Curtain. So
I don't know what that is, but okay.
Okay, so the Wisconsin border,
Yeah.
Illinois.
Wisconsin
That's the Cheddar Curtain.
Yeah.
cheese.
Thanks for doxing me here, buddy. I appreciate that.
And we're fibs, by the way.
But I don't know what that is either.
Effing Illinois bastards.
Oh, all right, cool.
That's
Oh,
what
that's like
that makes more
Wisconsin
assholes.
calls us.
Right?
Yeah.
What was
Is
that?
is that like a mass hole?
Yes.
It's like someone
Yep.
from Massachusetts, a mass hole. Yeah.
Forget
Yep.
about it.
Basically, the reason why we got that was because their drinking age stayed at 18 for a long time. So people from Illinois obviously would drive up to Wisconsin, get drunk, and drive back to Illinois, and a lot of them would get pulled over.
So now it's reversed because cannabis is legal in Illinois, but it's not.
Yeah.
So they all come here.
Yep. That is true. Very true. All right, Mr. King, what you been up to today? You're definitely not in your studio.
Oh yeah, no, I'm in my bedroom. It's been moving. We got all the pods pretty much filled up. You know what I mean? I got the most important things left though. The AI machines here. You can still see them running. So
Got to keep them running as long as you can, right?
that's right. Okay, so pretty much I'm like all the way moved out, pretty much for the most part. So I'm just like on some little plastic thing that's my laptop sitting on. I don't know, whatever I could find to keep it up a little bit so I could sit. But yeah, I loaded up three of those U-Haul U-boxes or whatever over the last 2 days with just me and my mom. So, and it's like 115 here, so it's freaking hot. It's awful. It's bad. So, yeah, I got some more stuff to do tomorrow, but yeah, it's
So is that kind of like a pod, like, because basically you pack those up, they store them, and then once you have a place, you then say, okay, now I want you to deliver them.
You could do direct deliver, or yeah, you can store them. It's essentially 4 foot. Well, it's 4 foot in length and it's 8 feet deep and about 8 feet tall.
Okay.
Pretty much, it'll fit on a semi trailer, right? And they just load up a whole bunch of these things and then just haul them down the road.
Right. So are you going to leave them in your driveway and then grab them?
No. I used one nice thing about having a truck is they'll put them on trailers for you, and then you can trailer them to and from your house. So I did the first one. I did a dual, which is they were like, it's going to be a little too heavy for your truck. I'm like, don't worry about it, dude. All right. If my tires pop, then I'll call you. Okay, it's all right. Don't worry about it. So I held I did a double the first day, and then today was a single. But they put them on trailers for you, and then I take them from the U-Box place just to my house, and I can drop the trailer off, whatever, and then I just load them, drive them back, set it down, go get the other one, set them down. So it's it's pretty cool. They have insurance and all that stuff on there, so
Hmm.
it's moving is expensive though,
It is.
Yes, it is.
and that's me moving myself.
Yeah, I know. It's amazing. It's like, wait a minute, how much is this costing? I'm not paying anybody.
Yeah,
I know.
it's expensive.
I know when my daughter lived in a house for 2 years when she was in college. So, you know, they kind of had accumulated a bunch of stuff, and it wasn't furnished, so she had to, you know, bed everything. So, yeah, that was when we were the day of graduation, we were also moving her out. So that was fun. That was fun. It's hot that day too. I wouldn't say 100 115, but it was definitely hot and humid that day.
When we moved up here from Georgia, it was about $4,000 for a 30-foot trailer, like the entire trailer. They dropped it off at our house, and we had about a week to load it up. Then they came and hooked it up and drove it up here and dropped it off at the new house. And then we had like a week to unload it. But we slapped that fucker completely full, 100% full, and it was like $4,000. But we didn't have to move anything. We didn't have to tow anything. We didn't have to get like a U-Haul. None of that shit.
That's not actually bad with how far the distance is.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. It was worth the cost.
What was the company, if you don't mind me asking?
I don't remember. They've got a hub right down the street though.
Oh,
I don't remember off the top of my head.
Got it. So what you been up to, Hawk?
Oh, nothing. Just, you know, today I actually had to go to the restaurant tonight because my mother's out of town, but just summer, it's slow. Looks like so I've just been focusing a lot on the Terra stuff. A lot of ASIC sales are picking up. Some good deals going on right now. So last night I had one out of the blue. A lot of people buying up KS5s for August. A lot of people still bullish on Caspa. So the Caspa ASICs are still moving. Looks like the Bitcoin ASICs took a plummet in price. So
I was gonna say, I would imagine
a little bit. I mean, the price of Bitcoin affects it a little bit, but not a whole lot. But I was able to argue some cheaper prices on a few units. So, no, that's pretty much it. We released the new Terra commercial, more of an infographics style commercial. Shout out to the hobbyist miner. Give me the idea for it actually, and it came out really well. And that's it, man. Just, you know, grinded it out. We prepared. We're all prepped to go to Nashville for BTC. So
Nice.
that's gonna be it's gonna be fun.
cool.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
I got nothing else really.
I didn't do a whole heck of a lot today, but I did start to tape some content and then couldn't get it to work. Was trying to do the nice hash on Vast, and trying to create a template that I could use, and it just, the way that they basically gave me the command line and I was trying to translate them into the template and it just wasn't working. So I don't know. I may see if Swamp 7 can give me a hand. Maybe he can figure it out. But yeah, I could not get it to work that way. I could actually put in the commands and on the actual, you know, unit and get it to work, but that's really not doing anything. That's just basically starting the miner. And it's not, the problem there is the fact that it's not going to stop. In other words, if you get somebody who wants to get on, I don't think this is going to stop because it didn't set it up that way as like an instance within Vast. It's just separate from Vast. So, plus it's not profitable because it's mining at full bore. It's mining Zell hash. I'm sure it's like Gemlink is what it's doing. But anyway, so I spent a bunch of time on that. Went out to dinner with my wife and my sister-in-law. A little tired because had a beer, had way too much to eat. But it was fun. Set out on there's a brewery in town, and they have like a second story deck, which is like the main part of their summer dining room area. So it was nice sitting up there in some sun. So that was fun. But yeah, other than that, just I started definitely decided I am going to go Unraid 7.0. I'm going to try their beta. And one of the main reasons why I decided to go with the beta, because it's like, okay, you're using it for NAS. It kind of needs to be, you know, secure and make sure nothing screws up type of thing. But one of the reasons why they said it wasn't a release candidate is because of ZFS is going to be coming out with a new version, and they don't want to come out with a release candidate before the new version comes out. So once I read that, I was kind of like, oh, so this is kind of like a release candidate. So anyway, but that's gonna be the next thing I do. And I have queued up to do that video on the Salad VM. I just haven't started that one yet, but it is in the plans. Actually hit the record button for a change today. So I got about half that video before I start running into problems. So, but it was kind of my day. Not too much, just kind of relaxing. It was hectic this past week at work, and it's definitely going to be hectic next week. We have like 3 times the normal. Well, yeah, about 3 times the normal volume going out next week. So, yeah, it's going to be crazy next week. I don't know where we're going to put all this stuff, but we'll figure it out. We always do. So anyway, I don't know what AMA guys, I didn't really have too much to talk about. Obviously we always talk about salad. Thanks, Goat. Appreciate that. I was sitting there going, is somebody actually doing that? Anyway, but yeah, my salad has made a big time turnaround in results. I have 4 out of my 7 that are making a good buck, basically $5 or more. I have 1 on a $7 job, which is nice. So yeah, I'm pretty pleased. I'm probably going to take I have one 4090 that for some reason just refuses to stay rented. It gets rented, it stops, it gets rented, it stops, but it's not consistent. So I think I'm going to move that one over to FluxCore and see how I can do over there for a bit.
There you go.
So
yeah, I heard the rewards on that, like when they actually start pushing larger jobs, are going to be significant. If they're anything like they were on the testnet or in the test phase, it's going to be really good.
Yeah, the problem is I don't know if it's just on Vast, but the demand for AI jobs right now is really, really low. At least on Vast it is. Vast went from, hang on, let me actually, I had the number up a little bit ago, but I don't remember what the exact number was. And I'm just talking about 4090s. So if we look back on the 16th of June, there were over 3,800 verified 4090s that were rented. Right now, there are less than 1,700 verified 4090s that are rented.
Yeah.
So it's been a steady drop off.
Hawk, your video is pretty blurry.
It's my focus keeps going in and out.
Let you know.
I have to manually set the focus, and I have it on auto at the moment, and it's not great on auto.
It's unacceptable.
It is unacceptable. I'm sorry.
We need to have a talk about your performance when this is all over.
Yeah, no, I'm with it. I'm with it 100%.
Have you been getting management training there, Goat? Is that what that is?
Yeah, it takes one leadership class, and he's trying to analyze
this. Jeez, it's all full of himself.
I'm just trying to be helpful, all right? I think part of why Vast is going down and like Salad is as well, or going down, the value's not as good as it was, because everybody and their brother's jumping on this. You know what I mean? There's tons of like private services out there that are now probably making it cheaper for API calls than it would be to go, directly to Vast or directly to a non-centralized, but an outsourced, GPU kind of compute service like the Vast and the Salads of the world.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably why this is, and it's just going to get worse. More of these,
See that I'm not sure, because I think there'll always be a need for this. The issue is that yes, you're always going to run this wave. Like, okay, demand's really high and supply's not there, and then people are like, oh my god, look how much money you can make on it, and then supply jumps, but demand doesn't change. So now all of a sudden, then you have the opposite effect. You're going to get this wave. Right now, we're just on the other end of the wave, in my opinion.
Well, I think where the money is going to come from is these private equities or private organizations like Proof Useful Work, where they're going after dedicated customers that work on their dedicated platform instead
Right.
of, and they're going to have a marketplace, right? Like they, like they have now and like all the other ones do, but having more of a dedicated company that's willing to pay that a little bit of premium for a jump in line instead of just going to the marketplace kind of thing is where the money's going to be for us as a provider.
Yeah, I actually have been having a conversation with Power Meta AI. They do AI Factory. Anyway, I'm kind of learning like kind of what they do, and I'm still not sure exactly how they operate, other than it seems like they're a marketplace, but they're pulling the supply from other providers like IO.net and others. So anyway, they wanted me to do a video on them. I'm still not sure I'm going to yet because I kind of need to understand a bit more about them. But it's nice to be contacted. I introduced myself to them at Mining Disrupt. So
It's good to make friends.
yeah, it's
Just
good to make
remember,
friends.
if they use the word synergy a lot, it's a fucking scam.
They have not.
Okay. All right. It
But
might
they
be
have
all right.
made themselves available. Hey, if you got any questions. So I didn't have a chance to connect with them today, but I'm going to try to see if I can ask a few more questions of them tomorrow and hopefully decide what I'm going to do. But yeah, anyway, but yeah, like I said, I'm looking forward to hopping on FluxCore and trying that back out. I did way back when I jumped on and did, the benchmarks and stuff with the 8 GPU rig when I had it, although I didn't have 8 GPUs on at the time. I think I only had 4 at the time. But yeah, that was kind of fun to look at that and be near the top of the list. I think I was number 12 at the time in the benchmarks. So
It's still unsupported under as a VM though. I tried spinning one up on my Ryzen server and it was giving me fits.
what wasn't supported?
FluxCore, Proof Useful Work. I mean, it works. But they don't recommend it and they don't support it. If you have issues, it's like good luck.
Wait, what don't they recommend? I'm sorry, I'm missing something.
On a virtual machine, they wanted a dedicated
Oh,
machine.
got it. Yeah, got it. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't gonna do a virtual machine. I was gonna do a dedicated machine.
Yeah.
To start out. So, like I said, if they are going to be willing to rent out one 4090 at a good price, they'll probably be willing to rent out 8 at a really good price too. So, but yeah, but no, I'm actually been pretty happy with Salad. Like I said, it's now that my internet issues, the router issue specifically, has been resolved with the update. Yeah, Salad's been doing much better. I'm making like around $25 a day, between 25 and 30. So right now it's a little bit lower, but it was starting to pick back up a little bit too. So it's generally up and down, but I think the key is trying to get on one of these forever jobs. And right now, I don't know if all 4 of these are forever jobs, but they're just steady as can be. Just they've been on for 5 days, I think, 5 or 6 days, something like that. So as long as as long as I don't need to update anything, and I'm able to keep those jobs, it's going to be a beautiful thing. So, all right, let's see. Just spit on it. That's not you, Hawk, is it? That's somebody else, right?
It's Frogman Mining. He switched his thing the other night on the live stream.
Got it.
Fantastic.
Yeah, no, it's one of the best. It's one of the best names. It's one of the best names, and other than I've seen some cool ones, but that one.
That's a good one.
That's
Yeah.
a good one. That's funny. I actually saw an interview with that woman, and yeah, I mean, she's just funny. She's just funny. She's like, I didn't mean anything by it. And you can tell by the way I said it, I didn't mean anything by it. And anyway, it was, some people are pretty like, how could you say that? She's like, yeah, whatever. She's like, all my friends, they're cool with it. And so now she's got a publicist, and
yeah, she
quit her job.
Money,
she was not a teacher.
No, she didn't get fired from anything either.
No, she worked at a restaurant.
Yeah, there's a bunch of idiots on the internet.
Yeah, but she was like, I'm too young to be a teacher. She's 21.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, maybe.
I mean, it would be pretty difficult to be a teacher. Generally, they don't become teachers until they're 22 when they graduate from college in 4 years.
unless she, I mean, I don't know.
I mean, yeah, I suppose she could have been a rocket scientist, but
Right, that's what I'm saying.
yeah.
I mean,
definitely
she's
possible.
pretty smart already. She knows how to,
I don't think that's part of the IQ
it
test.
definitely
I could be wrong.
qualifies in my book. 150%.
That's street smarts right there.
100%.
Yeah, there you go.
She's already.
Street smarts.
If I was the dean, she already made it in. She's not even a question.
You can't. That's the quiet part. You can't say that out loud, Hawk.
Oh, come on, we're all thinking it.
So Swamp 7. Hey, Swamp 7, we need to talk. I want to see if you can get this this template working for NiceHash. But anyway, he says have a work client that has 1,052 H100s unrented. That's like 40 million in GPUs just sitting looking for work.
Wow.
I don't think they are gonna make it already talking about selling. Wow.
I mean, the
That's
H100s
rough.
are being put out too by the newer generation. So, I mean, it also depends on like platform and trying to find a reputable platform to put that much hardware on and stuff like that. And sometimes having too much hardware can work against you. You know what I mean? Because there's other platforms that they'll just get oversaturated, right? So the good thing about what we're doing is who we're using is we're using a private entity, and we're kind of just growing with them, right? So when they need more, King will make a call, talk to Mike and Frank, and then they'll go ahead and purchase the hardware. So, I mean, as long as there's the demand for it, so.
Right. Well, it's good when you have that kind of partnership where, you can make a decision to buy hardware because there's demand, unmet demand.
Right.
Have them reach out to Dan Keller. Dan will be happy to put them on useful work.
Dan sold all his 3070 M's that he bought. I don't think Dan's looking for H100s.
Oh, I'm not saying to buy them. He'll say just put them on useful work and we'll get them rented.
What are they going to do on useful work? That platform hasn't even launched yet.
Yeah.
They probably don't even have the jobs. If the minute you put all those H100s on there, everybody with a 3060 12 gig is going to get wrecked.
Well, that's true.
You're not wrong.
You're not wrong about that at all.
So,
For sure.
that's what I'm saying. Like sometimes having too much hardware could work against you.
I mean, you actually have seen that, I think, on Salad. I think people that are on 3060 12 gigs are not doing as well as they were before.
No.
I mean, why are we talking about salad? It's a scam, anyways. So,
Well, not for you. You're a YouTuber. You get all the good jobs.
Right.
No, I just showed the other day I'm making shit. I got a 4090 making like $1.
Anybody can make that
It's
shit
a
with
scam.
Photoshop.
Don't do it.
Don't give me that. You're over there making fake videos and shit.
Oh, geez.
God. Okay.
I don't know. I have certain goals that I want to make every week. And while some weeks are better than others, still been able to average at that goal. So I'm not really hurting. Yeah, I'm not making as much as I was before, but I'm still making what I had planned on making per week. So yeah, no complaints. No complaints. Still enjoying it. That's for sure.
I'm giving it a little bit of a run. I have yet to have all my 4090s rented at the same time on Salad. So
yeah, I haven't either. But I have had everything rented on Vast before, but those days are not there now. I won't say we'll never come back, but they certainly aren't there now. That's for sure. What I do find interesting is that the quantity of GPUs hasn't really changed a lot.
You got there.
Like the number of 4090s has only come down a little bit.
right.
That's what you're buying with your Salad rewards?
All Silver Eagles.
Nice.
I'm gonna let it run up to a 4090 and then cash out. I think I got like
Salad?
300.
You're just gonna wait and get enough to buy another GPU?
That's it. I mean, that's it. Yeah, really.
I will tell you, it is not hard to get open box 4090s now from Best Buy. So you can get 4090s for right around $1,600 now that aren't the FEs. So it's the gigabyte ones.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you guys think about the market?
Well, let me ask you this, Max. you are experienced with this. I think you have a couple of these. These MNTD
Yeah.
hotspots. How do
Mhm.
I uncrank this thing? I want to put it back on helium.
Wait a minute. You didn't. So you have it on crank right now?
I have crank flash to it. I have another one over here that's on crank, and I was going to
Yeah,
do
but
the
it should have been
two.
able to do both. When I flashed mine to crank, I've been mining helium the whole time.
Oh, okay. I think I turned off helium on that. So if I just went back in and like
Yeah.
reflash the SD card or something, I could do both.
Yeah, you should be able to. Yeah. Now, I was watching something on Crank, and they have a multi-miner that actually does more than just crank and helium. Now, I thought I heard. So,
Hmm.
if anybody else has heard that, let me know. But that's my understanding. I haven't looked into it any further. I've been busy with other things, but yeah, it's yeah, the multi-miner can mine more than just crank and helium.
Okay. I got to look into that then. I got a handful of these IoT sensors that were sent over to me. I'm doing a video on, and they all run on helium, and I didn't know that. And
Oh,
there's
that's
no
cool.
helium up here. Like that's why that uh, Macron, the little demo, it didn't work for shit up this way because there's like one helium hotspot in all of town, or there's two of them, one on one side of town and one on the other, so they're not even like seeing each other.
Dude, man, you can. I mean, that would help you because I'm not saying you're going to get rich on helium. Not saying that at all. But I mean, it'll be profitable. I mean, in my
Yeah.
area, I think I've got like 4 within like 3 blocks.
Yeah.
So they're all seeing each other.
Yeah.
We're seeing all of them, and I'm probably the second highest one. So, but yeah, it's yeah, I haven't actually looked at my every once in a while I'll cash out my what is it called now? Shoot,
Or
what's the
IoT
helium?
tokens or something.
Yeah, IoT. I cash
Yeah.
out IoT. Generally been
Yeah.
buying Solana with it.
Yeah. The company that sent me those sensors, I'm trying to get them to send me a couple of the Helium mobile devices too.
Nice.
I'll put one of those here on the house, and maybe I'll make friends with somebody in town. Put one closer to downtown.
Cool. Very cool. Yeah, what's the other one that they want you to like put in like areas of like a restaurant or something like
XNet.
that? XNet.
XNet, yeah. How's that working for you, Hawk?
I mean, it's not making buku money, but they're switching. They're going to Solana from Polygon. So I don't know how that's going to work. I'm probably going to have to log in and change my address somehow. I have to figure out how to do it again. It's been running. I mean, it's working. Let me see how much I've made so far. I've made about $200 since it's been up. I mean,
That's pretty good.
something. Not
Yeah.
bad.
I mean, it's one of those things everybody's like, "Oh, I'm not going to get rich from it." Yeah, but you do enough of these little different things and you just let them sit. Like I said, I don't even think about my helium until you just brought it up and I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's right. I don't think I've been in my helium wallet for like 3 or 4 weeks. Probably should cash that out again."
Yeah, with the cost of power, like when I first moved here and I turned all my shit on and I got 2 power bills right in a row of like $1,400. No more of that.
My power bill this last month was only $500.
Mine was $326. That's the lowest power
Yeah,
bill
but
I've had
you
in
don't
2
have the
years.
hardware on. I still have the
That's
hardware
right.
on.
Yeah.
So mine was 10.4 cents a kilowatt hour now.
Nice.
So
Okay.
it's weird because when your bill is going to be different than mine in the fact that there's adjustments every month. So my adjustment this month was lower. Like I forget what the PwC adjustment, I don't know, whatever it was, but that sometimes can go in opposite directions. But definitely was happy to see that. I'm like, damn, only $500. Typically it's been upper sixes is
Yeah.
what it has been. Now I had a good solar month as well, so that definitely helped as well.
Negative $256. That was my power bill. It's negative because I'm really not mining anything at home. Even with these AI rigs, they use like I don't know, like no power, and I only have a few solar panels on the roof, so I
Just
have
a couple, like 1 or 200.
Yeah.
So how is that going to work when you're not there and you don't have any hardware there running?
So I've considered maybe leaving some behind and leaving it on. Just
Just get paid.
yeah.
Might as well. I mean, wouldn't be a point in moving.
No,
it.
I figured you wouldn't move the panels, but what I was wondering about was, do they have net metering where you're getting paid for it, and can you get paid more if they do have net metering? Can you get paid more than what you're using?
No,
Okay.
they don't buy the power at the same rate that they sell it. Unfortunately, because here in Arizona we have too much sun, right? So everybody and their mother, there's mostly all my neighbors have solar panels, right? So
Right.
And they don't give you money; they just give you credit on your bill, don't they?
yeah.
Fuck
So you don't actually get money. It's get credits. And then if at the end of the year, if I have too many credits, then they may talk to the solar company and have them reduce my solar output.
Wow.
Because you can only be
10%.
150 or 160 down here over your use.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I know
But
when
now
they
kind of they beef those numbers up a little bit. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I know up here it's when you're having a solar system put in order to get the incentives, you can't go above 110% of your average over the previous year. So I know when I put mine in, I put in as big of a system as I could based on the size of my roof, and every other part of my roof was had shadows on it from something. So I have it where I can have it. And so not really much I could do, but they did tell me, they're like, oh yeah, you could put solar panels over here. But I'm like, yeah, but they're going to work only about 75% of the time. Yeah, but it's still profitable. I'm like, no, they're not. They're going to be like a 16 or 17 year break even on that portion.
Yeah.
Oh no, it just increased your
Reduces
overall time that it takes to break even. I'm like, no. How much is just those panels over there going to add in their, as far as cost, and how much are they adding as far as power? That's what I want. So anyway,
Well,
I showed them. Anyway, they're just trying to upsell.
I saw a really good video on this guy. I don't know his name. He built like this pergola. Yeah. Some type of thing to hold a bunch more panels. If you want to check it out.
That video is fire. That video is so good.
Yeah, it was. It was really good.
I can't wait to see the video where I don't think he's put one out yet on wiring it up yet, has he?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah. I think he's still waiting on batteries, because some of the ones he got weren't the right ones.
Oh,
like,
that's
he got
right.
a couple of them that were okay, but he had to send like 4 of them back or something, 3 or 4 of them back.
Yeah, well, he could just run it straight off the inverter.
During the day.
Yeah, during the day, and then it'll just shut off when it can't handle it anymore.
Yeah. I need to get somebody here to do a little bit of repair on the garage roof, and then I'm going balls deep in solar again. I've seen them really cheap out here. Like,
oh, really?
Yeah, like $50 a panel for used 300-watt panels.
Nice.
Yeah. I mean, they're not the nice bifacial ones like he's got, but I'm just going to put them on the roof.
Yeah, if you're going to put them on the roof, you don't need bifacial, that's for sure.
Yeah, I'll probably get 2 pallets this time. I'll put like 30 of them up. I'm going to fill up the garage and then do both sides of the house. And, maybe I'll build a pergola.
That's a good idea. Actually, I was talking to my sister-in-law. She lives down in Tampa, and she was like, yeah, I want to build like a carport, because it just, where the roof is not a good place to put the panels. And so I have the spot just to the one side of the house, and just put up, like I said, put up a carport. I'm like, well, what about a pergola? She's like, yeah, that'd be perfect. I'm like, I didn't know just the guy.
Yeah.
There's
I showed her the video.
There's all the I guess all the awnings at schools, right, where they have I guess you call them carports, but it's for the school parking, right? They all down here have solar on them. All of them. There's just anywhere you can stick solar down here, people put it on there. So
yeah, it's kind of interesting, because like, how are you? It's really hard to do power when you don't have a steady load. And if you have all this solar during the middle of the day, and then you have all this power still that's a requirement at night, you have this constant, you have to be able to turn things up and down very, very quickly, not have this steady load. Like that's like the worst possible scenario for nuclear. And nuclear likes to see a steady load. So I'm kind of curious, do you know what kind of power plants they have?
Out here?
Yeah.
I know there's one that's hydro, I think, which is SRP, which is the Salt River Project, SRP.
Okay.
I'm not fortunate enough to be on that power plant, although some of the other viewers that we hang out with are. So they get way cheaper power than I do. I'm on the communist one that owns 95% of Arizona. And they just rape you. That's APS.
I'm rubbing off on King.
Tommy plan.
They're AIDS. They don't care. They charge the most for everything.
Yeah, and they mislead you, and they mislead you with their programs as well.
Oh yeah, okay, we're only going to charge you at this time for on demand. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm going to turn off 1 hour prior before that, and I'll turn back on 1 hour after that. And they're like, well, sir, it looks like you're gaming the system. I'm like, well, I'm not gaming anything. I'm actually following
your rules. Yeah,
right, exactly.
I'm not gaming anything. She's like, well, that's not how we see it. I'm like, well, you can see it any way you want to see it, all right? But I'm actually doing exactly what you want people to do. You want them to turn off between 3 and 8, right? Which I do, okay? And then you still charge me the demand charge. I'm like, why? And there's no reason why.
You're doing curtailment is exactly what you're doing, and you should be getting the benefit of it.
Yep.
It's probably because they get it cheaper. So
no, they're doing it because they don't see that. Because I remember I'm trying to remember who I was talking to. I talked to somebody at ComEd, and they're like, "Well, that's not really the way it's meant to be." I said, "But that's the way it is." And then later on, they were actually like, "No, that is a good idea." I think it was the battery thing, where if you had batteries and you charge them up at night and you discharge them during the day. So you charge them up when you're on variable, charge them up at night when it's really, really cheap, and then you discharge when it becomes really expensive during the day. And at one point, the power companies around here were very much against that. And then they were kind of like, no, that's actually a good thing. And they were okay with it. So, anyway,
I don't know. Raid. Thanks, guys. Thank you for joining.
Oh yeah, thank you.
EA Raid.
Nice. Appreciate that. Let's see. Ertzed said it passed code in Florida for hurricane. To be honest,
it won't pass.
It won't pass code. What won't pass code?
Sorry, I missed panels on the roof in Tampa.
Oh, on the pergola. Yeah. Yeah, you might be right. I know that it wouldn't be made of wood. I can tell you that. With the amount of termites and stuff that they have down there, so wood would be out of the question.
As long as you can afford the homeowner's insurance down there, you're fine. If not, it's
not that bad
yet.
It's awful in Florida.
Wait a minute. How much is your insurance on your house, if you don't mind stating it?
About $4,000 a year.
That's more than twice what mine is. I haven't even shopped.
Really?
That's about what mine is.
4,000?
Yeah.
You guys have state income
tax.
3,800 this year. Yeah.
I'll have to look at mine. I think mine's under $1,000. I think mine's right around $1,000.
I mean, it also goes by the value of your house, which mine doubled in the last 3 years, 2-3 years, with all the house purchasing here. I built my house for $416. I built my house. It's worth almost $9.
Oh wow!
Like it's gonna go up. Like
I'm sorry.
They adjust. It goes up.
I was thinking that's property tax. That's not insurance.
Oh yeah.
No. My property tax is about a third of that. Or I mean, insurance is about a third of that.
No, my insurance is about I would say around 4, in between 3 and 4, and then property tax for me is probably like another 6 or 7.
Oh, that's nothing.
Oh,
that's nothing.
Jeez, it's so expensive.
My house is worth less than half of what Hawks is worth, and my property taxes are almost 10.
That's almost 8,000.
Almost 10.
Oh,
10,000?
Christ! He's in Chicago.
What are those
I'm not in
doing to you
Chicago.
over there?
It's a
Jeez.
long story. But
I-
the short story of it is the fact that we live in an area, a large school district that has a lot of poor areas. So they have a budget and then they spread it out amongst all the values of the homes. Well, I live in the town that has the highest value of the homes, so we get the brunt of the real estate taxes. We have like 20% of the students and we bear 40 to 45% of the cost.
Excuse me.
So yeah.
So I bought this place for $275. It's worth $430 right now. I pay $1,700 in taxes.
A
In
year.
real estate taxes. Wow.
Wow.
Dude, hey, Arizona's dirt cheap. The booze is
Yeah.
cheap down here. This is old people friendly down here. Okay, but hey, you got to watch out for how those old people drive, because a lot of fender benders out here. All right. No, I didn't call Max old. I said old people. I wasn't referring.
No,
to
I didn't think you were referring to me.
I did.
I knew you weren't referring to me.
All right, I got a
You
question.
better not have been referring to me.
I have a question for the chat. All right, so I'm setting the price on the new DR7. What does everybody think is a fair price? And please, for God, love of God, do not say $1.
That's the
DR7.
Creed miner? Is that what that mines?
The DR7, it's the SIA, the new SIA, or the SC Prime.
Yeah.
But apparently, according to Retro Mike, there's an algo change, and it's not going to be as profitable as people think it's going to be. So I'm trying to put a fair. Now, my competitors are right around 2,300. I was going to list for about 2,050, but I wanted to see what everybody thought about it.
So you said don't say $1, right? That's what you said.
Well, I mean, don't you know what I mean? What was this? Hawk has to insure all his F-35s. Man, I wish I had an F-35, man. My problems would be zero because I would just fly and launch a counterattack on everything. 2000 says Call Valley Crypto. Okay, it's not bad. That's where I was aiming, right around 2050. Here in the UK, unless you're a landlord, you pay a council tax. What socialist kind of bullshit is that?
A council tax?
You
know what though? I mean, talk about socialism though, but like, see, like Max has got higher taxes because he's in one area of the city where his taxes have to pay for the other side. Which, you know, if people are in unfortunate situations, I don't mind doing it. My thing is the abuse that comes with it. Yes. Unfortunately, 100 Air DR7. I mean, it's Bitmain. We can host those, right, King? They're Bitmain units.
Yeah, they probably don't have support for them yet, though, but they will. It takes a while.
We can host it. Yeah, we'll host it. I'm pretty sure Foreman will pick it up, and if not, we'll just email Foreman and they'll log into the back end and then figure it out.
Dragon Ball side.
Just be warned though, on any units that are not Bitcoin units, they're only 180-day warranties for Bitmain.
Yeah. So you know what's funny is Avalon, Canan, they have a year warranty on their Bitcoin ASICs. 1 year.
Yeah, Bitmain. Yeah, that's what Bitmain has.
Bitmain's 180 days.
No. Bitcoin ASICs are 365 days. Anything that's not Bitcoin is 180.
That
L7s,
sucks.
Caspa miners, the Monero one they had, any of those other ones that they make, all 180 days, except for the Bitcoin machines.
I wonder why they're like that. But.
Because they're prone to break.
Because they're gonna break.
What's the warranty for Ice River? Is they 180 days too?
Yep, 180 days too.
That's awful.
Warranty.
Not really a
great
box. I mean, if you think about it, though, it's just like it's not a great return policy, right? You know what I mean? It's not a great warranty period where you spend sometimes tens, 20 or 30 something $1,000 on a machine, and your warranty period is less than a year. That's not somebody that's really standing behind the product, in my opinion. Like when you go to like Dell or something like that, right? Or any of these like actual real server companies, you spend that kind of money, you're going to get like a 5-year warranty, right? You know what I mean? You could call them, you could talk to them. They will have parts for you. They will help you stateside.
Next day shipped.
Yeah, you will get none of that with Magic China boxes.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Yeah, the warranty. I feel like the ASIC warranty things they need to change a little bit. You know,
But see, that's because I think that's because there's not an American company in the mix. And I know Intel stopped their program for their develop. They were doing ASIC. You know what I mean?
I think they got paid to no longer go down that route.
Really, you think so?
I think so.
yeah, I think so too. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, what's
I
the
think
best
they were
way to beat
paid
your
to
competition?
walk away from that. Yeah, that was going to be a big competition.
So when I was heavily in the music industry, when I was an engineer, I used to hear stories all the time of certain labels paying radio stations not to play other groups like in the area. So like in Miami, it happened a lot. There was like one R&B group that was popular, and a new one would come out, right? And then they would play it on the radio, and because everybody thinks the radio is like free and everyone plays music. No, they're all paid, and they're all owned by Clear Channel. Most of them, P1, P2, and P3 stations. There's 3 types of stations. The bigger stations, they all get paid to play music. Anyway, you would see that all the time. They would pay to not play the new artists to keep the fan base for the local, or whatever the label wanted people to play. Clear Channel. It was Clear Channel, right? I think it's Clear Channel. I think that's the name.
That would have to be a lot of money, though. I mean, that would just because they could outperform everybody. They're building their own foundries here in stateside. I mean, like they could just crush it. Like,
Yeah.
I'm talking that'd have to be an obscene amount of money for them to walk away from it.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think.
Probably an ongoing thing. Like
Right.
they're getting the palms greased every year, a big chunk, just to let some of the big players continue to be the big players.
I wonder if they're
Yeah.
still producing it, but privately for like actual big farms.
Probably.
That could be true as well,
I mean, probably. I mean,
or
it's-
internal.
I wouldn't put anything past any of them. You know what I mean? I mean, they found that giant warehouse that they were trying to build, that mining facility next to that Air Force base. They found pallets of S21s months before they were released, even on the website. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't put anything past any of them.
Yeah, by the time we get to mining on this hardware, they're already a generation ahead on their own, mining it themselves. And they've been doing that for
Yep.
years.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, I mean, that's why they haven't come out with the L9 yet, or hadn't even announced it, was because there was nothing pushing them to go that way. There was no reason for them to do that.
I mean, I think eventually, this is going to be a bold prediction. I think eventually Bitmain and a few of the other big players are going to be pushed out eventually, because I do think once foundries in the United States start producing chips, it's going to become cheaper the more that they do. And then eventually we'll have American ASIC companies develop, because we'll have better hardware. I mean, if you guys really look at it, the chips that are made in these ASICs are generations old. They're
Yeah.
very old. They're not good at all. They can't get their hands on new hardware because of sanctions and all the other stuff.
Well,
Don't get me wrong, I'm sure they figure it out if they circumvent them, but if the United States actually made a Bitcoin ASIC like here with the newest latest generation of semiconductors, it would be way better than anything Bitmain could make. And then there's then it happens there. We see what happens with that. It was interesting because again, when I was talking to the Can people, they made a couple points. Like, they ship out of Malaysia now, so there's no tariffs coming out of Malaysia, only China. So ASICs, if you look dollar for dollar versus Bitmain, you get way more bang for your buck out of a Can. Now, you might not get the best efficiency, but in the bull market, nobody gives a shit, right? Because they're pushing all their units hard. So efficiency is a poor man bear market thing. Nobody cares about that in the bull cycles. That's just the truth. They didn't care about it during Ethereum mining. They didn't care about it at the height of Bitcoin mining. Nobody cared. They were pushing their machines, overclocking them, and immersion, doing whatever they wanted. And I saw the new, I think it was the A15 or A14, and it had 2 fans on it. It was at 200 terahash, and it was quiet. And it felt like it was made very well. So I don't know. Maybe here in the future I might get one and review it. I'm not sure, but it's amazing how much more they have to charge because of the tariffs. And they try to go around all of it, but it never really happens. They charge so much more money for it. So anyway, does anybody in the chat, or I don't know if you guys have, but has anybody in the chat ever had an Avalon BTC miner? The Can-Am Avalons. Has anybody ever had one? I know Panda might have had one, but I'm interested because I always like to see what the competitors are doing. And they were right next to Bitmain. Their booth was right next to Bitmain at Mining Disrupt. But I've heard Can-Am makes a great machine. I heard they make great, and they offer significant discounts for bulk, like significant, like close to like 30% off.
Wow.
For bulk, like crazy discounts. Like a dollar for terahash, you could save if you're building a massive farm, you could save. I mean, at least 30 to 40% versus what you'll pay for Bitmain. It's crazy.
You didn't even do the Panda call, and he heard, and you said his name, and he heard you.
Yeah,
that's creepy as fuck.
Yes, right. It is.
Yeah.
He was lurking the whole time.
He's lurking the whole time.
Fucking voyeur over there, just waiting and watching in the corner. Jesus.
Yeah.
Fucking Canadian.
Waiting to pounce. That's what red pandas do. Waiting to pounce.
Call Valley says he had a 1246. How was it? What's the quality like? He said sturdy as hell. Oh, nice. Yeah, I think they make a great machine. I just think Bitmain just, cornered the market. They had the right promotions. They hit up the right people and the right efficiency. But I don't know. I'm always willing to give the underdog a try.
That Dalton ASIC Repair, that company I worked with when I got that broken T17, when I interviewed some of the repair techs, they all preferred the Avalon because it's built better and they have less warranty work come back from it.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It might be a time to maybe try something different. I mean, Bitmain is great. Don't get me wrong. And I like Bitmain a lot. I own them, but maybe we should start giving, try to diversify the market a little bit. I mean, it's so many people buy Bitmain. Like, I don't know,
They're not going anywhere. It's like Cisco. It's the 800-pound gorilla. Nobody ever got fired for buying Cisco. You're not going to get fired for buying Bitmain.
Right, exactly.
It is the truth.
It is the truth, unfortunately.
Yep.
Yeah, I thought about getting, because I mean, you can get a. Where's the prices here? Let me show you guys. Here, I'll tell you right now, because the prices in comparison are night and day for what you can get from. And let me pull
the one issue though is as far as like aftermarket stuff is there, it's non-existent there for the Avalons.
Yeah, it's not. But here's my thing though, like you can put. Well, there's a couple actually. There's a couple firmwares that are around, but they're not anything great because Can-Am already gives you low power, mid range, and then the high power mode, right? All already built in. I could tell you that their dashboard blows Bitmain's away when it comes to interoperability. Let me see. Where is?
Well, just like you were saying, all of these ASIC manufacturers out there now are just using a little bit better of the same generation. The same technology that came out. In 2014, 2015, that right. It's the companies like the Locotechs that take things to a completely different level to find a way to get the same results, but using a different method.
Right.
And
so,
like you're saying, when we start getting US made ASICs and the foundries start, popping up over here, that's when we're going to see that next leap in the generational technology.
Now, as far as this is not the efficiency mode. These are the high numbers. This is pushing it in max efficiency, or I'm sorry, max power. These are not the efficient numbers, but the A1566, you can get 185 terahash. And guys, it's barely $3,000. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, to get that with Bitmain, you're spending at least $1,200-$1,300 more, right?
Wow.
Like, and then I don't know what it does in efficiency, but it's at its peak, it's 185 at 3420. Okay, I mean, granted, depending on your power and stuff, the efficiency is not great.
3120, is that what you said?
3420.
3420. What's the
185
S21 Pro? The S21 Pro.
30. It says 3500, but it's more like 36, 37 at the wall.
And that's 190 terahash?
It starts at 190, 195, and 200. The 200 terahash is about 36, 37 at the wall.
And
So-
what's the price comparison between the new 15 and the S21?
So if you were to do the 185 versus the 190, there's probably about $1,000 difference,
Yeah.
give or take a couple $100 depending on who you buy from.
About the same machine, and you get a longer warranty and more reliability for the Avalon than you do in the Bitmain for that, in my opinion.
100%. And I've only heard good things about it. So I mean, I don't know. I'm willing to give it a shot though. Like I'm gonna put them on the TerraHash's site, and we're gonna see if it picks up. There is a market for them because people do buy them. I just don't know. I haven't met anyone that other than Call Valley Crypto who's actually bought them. So, but yeah, it's interesting. Panda's like, I'll buy 10 of those if they're 3,000. Yeah, they're about 3,000, 3,100 probably. I get it for. But that's 185, man. That's not bad. Two fans, like, and it's quiet. So, Zarkov wants to know, will we host the Avalons? I think they're compatible with Foreman, right?
Yeah, the older ones are. I don't know if the newer ones are or not. And we actually, I said in a previous stream, we might be moving away from Foreman. So, that's still. I'm still working on that.
Yeah, I know the Hive OS thing is going to be a little bit. What they're doing is insane. The integrations that they're going to be bringing together, but yeah, it's an exciting time too, because I feel like the bear markets are just not good for lower prices on ASICs, right? I think this is where the most technological development occurs is in bear markets, because everyone's trying to get the best efficiency, what's the best tuning, what's the best management, and I think it's where a lot of the innovation comes out of the bear market. It doesn't come out of the bull market because nobody gives a shit. Everybody's like, yeah, high power mode, full bore, I don't give a shit, and nobody cares about developing anything because everyone's just trying to they're chasing the money. But in the bear markets, it forces everybody to like, oh, you know, I don't know, man, you know, this has increased me 50 cents a day. I got a farm of 10,000, you know, it's going to work, you know, and then they go ahead and they change everything.
Well, I turned off my Bitcoin ASICs yesterday.
Yeah, Bitcoin ASICs, man. I do think, and this is not financial advice, but I do think at the end of this year, I think Bitcoin ASICs, if not the end of this year, first quarter of next year, Bitcoin ASICs are going to be worth their weight in gold. And everyone's going to chase to get their hands on them. Yep. I really do. I think we're going to see at least a 2-3 month backlog with ASIC orders for Bitcoin, 120%. I'm seeing it now. I can see the orders coming through. I still get orders for S21 Pros. I still get orders for S21s. I've sold probably about 20 of them in the last month. Like, people buy them. People are buying them, and I'm a very small fish in a very large pond. So like, and you know, it's going around.
It's like I retweeted something earlier today that said we are 2 months into a 4-year Bitcoin cycle. The bull market hasn't even started.
Yeah,
right.
We're 2 months in.
Somebody told me
that I was watching I forget what the heck his name is, but anyway, a guy I watch all the time, and he had put up a chart, and he's like, look at the past however many bull cycles that we've seen, and this is normal. We, at the time, that was probably like 3 weeks ago. We were 15 weeks into this, and this going up and down before we hit the bull market is 22 to 26 weeks long. We're still 8 weeks away. At the earliest, we're 4 weeks away. At the latest, 8 weeks away before we would even start to hit. You know, and really, that's like, so we're at the beginning of July, beginning of August, probably beginning of September before we might even start. This one might last a little bit longer, but I'm thinking by the beginning of October is when we're going to start to see At
Oh,
the very
man.
latest, we'll start to see an increase.
Oh, that hurts. That hurts.
I'm not saying it's going to be that long. I'm just, anybody can last for 3 months. It sucks, but yeah, anybody can last. And I mean, heck, Bitcoin's already back up to 58,000. A bunch of other things have actually gone up during the last week.
Mm-hmm.
The RxD, Radiant's gone up. Hive Mapper's gone up. It's not all doom and gloom.
Oh shit!
Yeah, I mean it's 6 cents. I mean, it's not.
No, yeah.
It's not that great. But my point is, it didn't go down. That's my point.
Right.
Dynex went up. So Solana went down. I think. No, actually, I think it went up. It just went up very marginally. Yeah, last week over the last 7 days, it's up 3%. It's not that bad. Everybody's focusing on Bitcoin and where it's come from and where it is now. Everybody's focusing on the ones that are down big.
Yeah, no.
Litecoin's definitely taking a hit. It's down almost 13% in the last 7 days. Gaspa's down almost 10.
Yeah, I bought up some coins this weekend or Thursday, I think it was. Or yesterday. All these fucking days blend together, but I spent about $600 on some coin. Got some Bitcoin. I got some more Doge. I didn't get Solana. I've already got a bunch of Solana. I was buying it at like $50, $50, $60 back when.
I remember. I could go back to my videos
Yeah.
when I said when it was 20. Yeah, I really should be taking my advice and buying it. And
yeah, that's when Hive Mapper was pumping, and I was like, shit, yeah, let's just swap it all over.
Yep, it was a smart move. Definitely a smart move. What else did I put on the subject matter for tonight? I thought there was one other thing I put on here, and I don't remember what the heck it was.
The crypto Markest.
Did I really spell it wrong?
The Markest.
Yes. Yeah, Marcus.
Yeah, no, there were 3 things. What were the 3 things?
AI projects, crypto Markests, and AMA.
Oh, it was only 3 things. Okay, well, AMA. Well, ask away, people.
I'm putting the DR7 for sale, right?
Thank you, Brian Hollywood. I appreciate that. Brian Hollywood likes this shirt.
It reminds me of a couch my grandma had when I was growing up.
Oh God.
It looks really good in person. I really like this shirt.
You say so.
A wife likes it. That's all that matters.
That's what matters.
That's right. Shit, I'm colorblind. You think I pick up my own clothes?
I grew up with a friend that was colorblind, and it was but Max, you can see certain colors though, right? Can you see certain shades?
There's grades of colorblindness. So
Right.
yes, I can see red and green, but there's certain shades of red and green, like those damn poker chips. Were like the perfect shades that looked exactly the same.
Max put in $500 and you meant to put $25.
No, thankfully, guys at the table were trading out my greens. They were giving me all reds. So that was fine until I got to the final table, and then those guys didn't know that I was colorblind. And then I'm like, "Wait, do I have greens?" And they're like, "Yeah." I'm like, "I'm red green colorblind. Can you trade out the greens or trade out the reds? I don't care which. Just get rid of one or the other."
So Panda, so Panda said, "What does the DR7 make?" According to Mine the ASIC on SC Prime at 9 cents, it's doing $50 a day.
I think that's incorrect.
I think it's incorrect, and I need Retro Mike to help me out here because he knows a lot about it. I know they were switching the algorithm. I think to something else. Yeah, I fed her. Don't worry. Sorry, the dog. And they were switching the algorithm around, so I don't know because it won't mine the older algo at all. So I think this is calculated because of the older algo.
On the old algorithm, yeah, that's correct.
I don't know exactly what it will make. It's 127 terahash, but right now it's saying $50 a day. I don't know if that's accurate.
Well, I mean, a lot of the ASICs that come out, they usually don't make the numbers that they're projected to make.
Yeah, but I think this is way off though, King, because it's
I mean, because of an algo change, it's going to be way off. So I think it's kind of an uncertainty. I would wait for the algorithm change before you bought one. You might
I
buy
have
one
to see.
and not be happy with it.
Is it's doing Blake 2B Blake 2B, and it says dash Cia, but I think with the
It's only
algo
calculating
change,
the Blake 2B.
yeah, because it
Not
doesn't
calculating the
make.
new algorithm.
It's saying it makes $56 a day on SC Prime, but it can't do Cia coin though. So I don't know if, and it's saying to be $50 a day on Cia coin. This doesn't make any sense. I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me. But I put it up for sale if anybody wants one. 2050. And
What's it
that's
matter?
what it says.
Panda's gonna have one by next week anyway, so we'll just wait till he comes out with a fucking video.
I
Right, there
guess.
you go.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah. By
Oh,
the
he's
time
already
he
got
comes
it in
out
the
with a
garage.
video,
He just
though.
hasn't done anything with it yet.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
by the time he comes out
It's
with a
Yeah.
under
video,
a
it's
pile of other GPUs. He's like, oh, I got that a week ago.
Yeah.
Yep.
John English says there's literally no liquidity. So good luck. I don't know anything about it, but I know I've had a couple people ask me about it if I'm going to put it up for sale, and I said, yeah, I'll put it up for sale.
See, I was wondering about the liquidity thing too with the L9 because it's going to be mining bells. And when I looked at bells, there was not a lot of trade volume on that thing. It was like $10,000 trade volume on there. It was
Yeah, it might.
really, really low. So I'm just like,
Yeah, and all of it was on one pool.
It
Or
might
on-
be
on
it
one
might be
exchange.
set for a rip though, because AlphaPex is working on an update right now to do triple mining with bells too. So bells might be a sleeper right now. It might be good to pick up a few $100 of it because it will. The ASIC pump will happen once
You're not
Well,
wrong.
yeah.
once
That's
those
a good
machines
idea.
do it. Not financial advice, but
That's
I'm going
actually
to
a
probably
really
go do
good
that
idea.
right now.
there's probably Bitmain and AlphaPax probably buy it. I wouldn't be surprised. The AlphaPax guy actually told me that there wouldn't be a firmware upgrade necessary for it. He says that it's going to be pools.
It would be
It'll
at the
be
pool
pool
level,
support.
right?
Yeah.
He said
Right.
that it will. Well, he said it's a little bit of both. He says we have to see if the current firmware would work with the pool, and if it doesn't, and we have to make an internal change, we will. But I don't know. I mean, but even without bells, though, I mean the L9 will still do pretty well. If we go, let's go to what to mine. We'll go to coins. There's a way to do let's see, Doge, LTC Doge. So it's 16, right? I have to put the hash rate on both. What's the power on that thing? The L9, it's what, 32 something, right? 3250, I think.
No, it's more than that.
On the
the
L9?
I think it's more.
I don't think so. Let me check. Let me check. Hold on. Let me check. L9. Oh no, 3360. Sorry. I was off by like 100. 3360. So right now without bells, and we'll just put 9 cents a kilowatt hour. Calculate. I mean, it's doing like $500 a month in profit right now if you were to plug it in right now, the L9. So like, I mean, it's still doing pretty good. It's not, and that's at 9 cents. So it's doing about 6,000 a year. So you're right around a 2-year ROI. With bells though, it's supposed to push it up to about another $14 to $15 a day. So I'll put it up to like 31. So that'll double it. So you probably, I mean, if you're able to do bells with it right now, you probably get an ROI in probably just over a year. Right around it. Hawk, I'm making spaghetti tonight. Do you have any suggestions before my lady ruins it? Yeah, don't overcook it. But
What do you use for a test? You like throw it up against a wall. If it sticks to the wall, it's done.
pretty much.
Okay.
I hate when people take the pasta and they break it before they throw it into the water. You ever see that? Oh
Yeah.
God, it's so bad when people do
My
that.
mom
No.
used to do that.
What's wrong
It's
with that?
terrible. That's not the way you're supposed to do it. Then it's not pasta. You're just breaking up.
Coming out of a
noodles.
fucking box that says Kroger on the side. It's not pasta anyway.
Okay.
Realistically here, come on.
You're supposed to put the whole thing in the pot so you get the long noodle so you can twirl it, right? That's how you eat it everywhere else.
I don't know. I don't think that's how those fine Italian, Olive Garden serve it.
God.
That's the Olive
I
Garden
had a
right
guy
there.
come in today. It was like, yeah, the Olive Garden down the street's really good. I'm like, that guy, Like I said, there's the door if you
Should
want to go
then.
there.
Son of a.
So Scott Sheffield is asking, he's been out of pocket. Anybody want to do a quick summary on what's going on with Radiant?
I covered it last night or on Thursday night. They're just switching their algorithm to appease an ASIC manufacturer. It's really what it comes down to. And the entity, I guess, I don't know, is that whatever that large farm is, says that they're going to kick back around 5% to the Radiant project. It's just controlled by one entity. I mean, that's what it's coming down to. So it's not.
Yeah.
It's
Crypto
not.
Craig. Crypto Craig saying it too.
Yeah, Crypto Craig. Crypto Craig's. Yeah, it's all Crypto Craig. He's VPNing to China. But yeah, no, I guess that's pretty much it. Radiant we're a community project. Fast forward a year. Oh well, hey, we got to do this. It is what it is. Get the fuck out of here. Everybody, money makes the blind people see. It really does. And with community projects, this is what you get. You get dumb leadership because it's everybody in the community. Oh, we're gonna vote for it. No, okay. Just saying. Whatever.
Has anybody
luck
heard
for
anything about Zelhash XCL?
The GPU
They're
mineable
doing
coin.
a fork. What TPS was saying.
What's TPS saying up here? Max voltage. Did you guys already talk about the XCL 4 coming in July 10th? I don't know what that is. I liked Radiant too, man. I did. I liked Radiant. Too bad they sold their soul.
Yeah, all the good algorithms get scooped up.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's right with what a lot of these projects are doing in the first place anyway, because if you really think about it, this is not none of this is, I mean, these dudes, man, they walk around, they preach decentralization like it's going out of style. Oh, we're decentralized and we're fair launch and blah blah blah. We'll never give up, and we're for the GPU miners. And 6 months later, they're on their knees, and it is what it is. It's really bad, bro. It's really bad. Like, I don't want to hear none of that bullshit. I'm tired. It's like you go see a new project, you go to their website, and then it's just, oh, we're decentralized this. I skip through all that bullshit on the websites because it's just cookie cutter stuff. Like, I think time is the greatest test, and that's what it is. RxD devs in for 10% of the entity's bags. Yeah, it's full of shit. It's all bullshit. It's just bullshit. It's just bullshit. It is what it is. We're in crypto, guys, so things change at the drop of a hat.
Well,
there's no
and think about
regulation. There's no body to go through. There's no paperwork to file. There's no one saying, hey, you can't do that. It's just, you know what? Fuck you, man. I'm switching over, and you can't do shit about it. And that's basically what it is.
And I hate to say it, but look at it from their eyes. They spend all this time and effort developing a thing, and this is their baby, and they've, brought it to fruition. And then somebody comes in and they're like, hey, I got a big fat check that I'll write you. You know what I mean? And then they don't have to worry about developing this thing anymore and figuring out the bugs and blah, 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 blah. They can just get paid and move on, right?
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, man. When you throw money at something, man, all of a sudden everybody's your friend. And it's just, oh, you know what? It's not so centralized after all. It's fine. The fuck out of here. This bullshit.
This is fine. Everything's fine.
When you really truly think about it, Bitcoin is probably the only real decentralized project. Everything else has got a centralized point. Maybe Litecoin and Doge are probably following that because they're as early as Bitcoin, but
some of those, Digibytes and
Digibytes, like the ones that came out like within the first 5 years after Bitcoin are probably.
But even some
ones.
of those, like even Bitcoin, it's scooped. I mean, there's 5 pools that hold more than 50% of the hash rate. Like 4 or 5, the top 4 or 5 pools hold more than 50% of the hash rate.
Yeah, but they can't control it.
They can't control it. I mean, if they all got together,
entity. I don't care how big Riot is.
Entity. There you go. That's a good way to put it.
I don't care how big Riot blockchain is, or these people with 200-300 megawatt mining facilities. They'll never be able to control it. If you combined all the world's supercomputers together and you tried to control it, it still wouldn't work because that's how it was truly designed, right? These other projects were made for somebody to come in with big money because they knew that there's large bag holders just sitting there waiting.
Yep.
So.
Gotta get paid, son.
I hear you. No, I get it. I'm about it, but just don't piss on my leg and tell me it's raining, because that's what Radiant did. That's what Radiant did. It said, "Screw you guys, it's thunderstorming," and then they went back behind you and fucking signed a deal. That's what they did, man. That's exactly what they did. It's all right. It's cool. What goes around comes around. So,
TPS, yeah, I did see. So Zealous hash, Zealous is forking on July 10th. So we got a few more days. And as TPS just said, they're doing it to remove any FPGAs. They want to stay GPU only. So it's coming. I haven't seen anybody that's any of the miners that are compliant with it yet, but it's coming.
I'm honestly surprised that there hasn't been a harder push for Kapow ASICs or Kapow bitstreams, because of it's like the only real algorithm that's not. Well, I mean, it's completely resistant.
Well,
you know what
it
I mean?
was it was built to be resistant.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. So, I was talking to a few different people about this, about why has there never been a Kapow ASIC?
Mm-hmm.
Because there, other than Ravencoin, okay, there really hasn't been a Kapow algorithm coin worth an ASIC, because they can do it. There's 7 algorithms in Kapow.
Yeah.
Right. They can do it. They can get an ASIC that can do all 7. Right. And you can essentially have it done. Yeah. There hasn't been a project that's been worth it. So, short story is, when I was interviewing Ergo about the Rosen Bridge, Joe Arminio was approached by Bitmain to do ASIC for Ergo. And he said, make the switch and we'll make it. He said, well, I can't do that, because you have to have 90% of the hash rate to make a decision. It's voting based. So, and they could have, listen, Joe could have took that money from right under the table and pulled a Radiant on everybody and said, we'll do it. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, a couple $1 million. Here you go. He didn't do it. He didn't sell his soul to the ASIC devil. So everybody hates on Ergo for something that happened almost 3 years ago, when truthfully, they're probably one of the only, besides Caspa currently at the moment, they're probably one of the only other truly decentralized projects for GPU miners. And they have a great ecosystem. Why? I don't even know why. And they're working with one of the lead developers from Cardano. They have a great ecosystem. I don't know why anybody's not building on Ergo. I think Ergo is a sleeping giant, though. I think Ergo is going to do very, very well. The Rosen Bridge is amazing. The technology that the thought that they've put behind the Rosen Bridge is not like every other bridge that was able to be manipulated. You can't manipulate the Rosen Bridge if it's honest. So, and they know what they're doing, and they didn't sell themselves out. I have a lot of respect for that project and that team. I really do. I think Ergo's it's a great algorithm for GPUs. Doesn't use a lot of energy. And the minute that the bull market comes around, I think Ergo is going to do fantastic. I really do. I think it's one of the coins that is a contender to bring GPU mining back. So, just saying.
And TPS is doing exactly the same thing I'm doing. I've been mining Zell and swapping for LTC. He's swapping for XRP as well, but I'm doing just LTC, which looks really good right now because I'm getting a lot more for what I'm mining. But
question. Yes. Sorry. Son of a Rabbit says, Hawk was so bullish on Lithium, but now look where we are. I'm pretty sure that was messed up by the same guys who messed up Radiant. They went in with this large farm and they dumped the market. Nobody can predict that from happening. That's just going to happen. I still think Lithium is great. Will it survive this onslaught that it's having? I don't know. I don't know. We haven't heard anything much from the Lithium dev team. So I don't know what is going on with Lithium when it comes to their algorithm. Are they going to make a switch because the hash rate on Lithium? I'm still bullish on Lithium. I think Lithium will do well, but the price, the ecosystem will do well, but its price right now is just getting obliterated with everything else. It's just too much hash rate on. It's over a petahash now, 1.12 petahash. It's getting obliterated with Hero Miners has got more than half. That farm is just killing it. There's nothing we can do on that.
Yep.
I'm still bullish on the project from a developmental standpoint, but the hash rate, these large farms are going on there, and they're gonna mine it out of existence.
All right, guys, we're going to go about another 5 minutes, and then we will call it a night. Anybody else have any questions that you have? Please put them in the chat.
Game of Smoky Dan says, Hawk, I got a secret spec rig on Ergo for sure. I think Ergo is going to be a great project, man. I really do. I really do. I saw a post from Soap today or yesterday that said KRC20 is broken. Was there any updates with KRC20 that I missed?
You know, actually, that's a good question. I was wondering that too. I know that like Tangent, for instance, was supposed to be looking to implement putting in like where you can change how much you are willing to pay in fees. You don't get your transactions just hung up on the blockchain because there's no way you're going to get your transaction through unless you put through enough in the way of fees. So, yeah, that was a big problem. So we'll see. We'll see. I mean, I don't know. I just, biggest thing is that they have public nodes and they're not getting any rewards, nothing, but yet a lot of this traffic, if you want adoption, you got to have a robust public network that can handle the traffic. And if you're not rewarding your nodes for handling that traffic, I don't know. That worries me. That really does worry.
I was I've been saying this for months. Everybody's, Caspa, and they're just focusing on the profitability, and no one's looking at the other side of the coin on the development side. Oh, 10 blocks per second is super fast. All right, that's cool, but what else you got? And I'm hoping that they get it together with KRC20, and it has I understand that it's new to them, and with the way their chain is set up, they have to get it to integrate correctly and get it to work. And I know there's going to be issues, but I hope it's going to get adoption because they're going to need it. Otherwise, you're just going to have a layer one that can transact really fast, and that's all that's going to ever be.
The reactions I was getting on Discord, some of them disturbed me, but most people that were close to the project had the right response. We should have seen this coming. We should have done better. We will fix it. That's the perfect response. Can't ask for anything other than that.
Right.
Obviously, the proof's in the pudding, so hopefully they do, in fact, follow through on that. But there were other people that were very defensive of the project going, well, it's just beta and it's this, that. And it's like, look, if you want adoption, people aren't going to care whether it's beta. They aren't going to care. How many people that own Caspa miners know that it's a beta blockchain?
So Banana Republic 2039, excuse me, says, this is separate from the Caspa network to be fair. Caspa never went down. Casplex and KRC20 are independent third-party entities.
That's true, except this is an ecosystem. So if one part of the ecosystem that enables the transactions to happen, from the end user to the blockchain is an important part. That would be like saying that the Ethereum network was running just fine, but all of its clients took a shit. So they weren't entering any blocks onto the blockchain. That's the same thing.
Well,
when Ethereum did all of their testing, they were tested hand in hand with every single one of their clients. Every single one of their clients.
I'm John English Tech. I'm just asking. I don't know because I'm seeing tweets about it's broken and it doesn't work and all this. There's problems with. I don't know. I'm just asking. It's way too fast for you. Says Casplex is the only official source for when KRC20 minting will resume. Casplex will announce the relaunch of KRC20 themselves. Okay, interesting. None of the KRC20 tokens aren't native to Caspa via Casplex. It's honestly different. They're more like ZK Rollup. I don't know. What that
Rollup. It's meaning it's kind of like level 2.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Yeah, don't know. I've been seeing a bunch of stuff. I still have to catch up, man. I got some videos to do. I haven't done a video in forever. Being sick really just, having to work just really knocks you out and slows you down. I still got to do.
I can't believe that I didn't catch what you guys got.
I mean, I think it just affects everybody. There's been tons of stress recently, and it's just been, staying up late, working late, not sleeping because I have a 1-year-old that just wakes up in the middle of the night. Like, it really takes a toll on you. And then it's just, I think that's why I got sick. I think it was just stress. John Lang said, "It's all good, brother. You're fine for asking. I'm just experienced with using Castbuds with JSON wallets, and it's literally insane." I agree. I just hope that they get the adoption that they need. 2 JSON mobile is messing me up. Caspa to Caspa. I got what you mean. So I think Caspa will do well. We'll see. But I mean, I've just been hearing everybody. There's always like one piece of bad news, and I feel like everybody just takes it and they just run the whole field with it sometimes too. You know what I mean? ETH had that crash early on, taught by the devs to tighten things up.
Wait a minute. No, they did not have a crash. They did not have a crash. They had somebody who basically hacked the network and stole crypto. That's what they had. That's different. That's definitely different. And they unfortunately didn't take that and say that, code is king. We're going to go back in time. But anyway, don't even get me on the whole Ethereum thing. But it is definitely different. It's more like the Solana thing. But Solana, by the way, I learned that it's actually considered a beta network. It's not considered mainline yet.
That's insane.
Blown away by.
That's insane. That's not considered to be like main. It's
I know.
main.
I couldn't believe that. I was like, "Are you serious?" They're like, "Yep. Look it up."
That's terrible.
Considering how much use it had.
There's a lot riding on that beta then.
Yes, there is. Yes, there
is someone making espresso or demons entering the stream? I think it's King's got the fans on his computers running. I think that's what that is in the background.
Oh yeah, probably. Yeah, I got we got to keep the money makers on.
I was muting my mic thinking it might be me, but it's not.
No, he's just re-entering the atmosphere.
So actually, going on a complete tangent after you said that, did anybody watch the SpaceX, whatever their big thing was? What was it? Yeah, Starship. Yeah. Did anybody watch? I mean, I know it was a couple weeks ago, but did anybody watch that? Like re-enter the atmosphere and just like burn up, but yet still was able to maneuver, even though after it had been burnt up and everything. It was pretty amazing. Couldn't believe it.
That guy single-handedly saved human spaceflight. He really did, because the NASA wasn't getting any love from anybody. Nobody cared anymore. Son of a rabbit. This is pretty funny. He goes, "If your life tanks, just call it beta." That's pretty good. That's a good one. I like that. Did you hear that they're going to be paying SpaceX to destroy the?
Yeah, I did hear that. All they're doing is giving it a little nudge.
Yeah, it's gonna. Yeah, just get out there and a little push. Yeah, a little push. I think it's pretty funny because the space station's huge. Like, it's football fields big. Like, I'm wondering what they're gonna put up next, if they're gonna build another one, or if they're even gonna do it, because they have to do it just in the perfect place, just so it doesn't land on someone's house. So,
yeah, there's what, 3 of them up there now. There's the one between the U.S. and China. There's a Russian one, and then there's an Indian one, I think.
Yeah,
space station.
The Russian one has been decommissioned. That was the Soviet Union. I think that one's decommissioned. I don't know if that's active still.
The U.S. and Russia worked together on the ISS, didn't they?
Yeah. Well, everybody did.
Yeah, that was the whole world.
Yeah, okay. Everybody did. I think there was another one from the Cold War that was up there.
Yeah, that one came down a couple years back.
Then there was always Skylab.
So why does that sound familiar?
I don't know.
Because that was like the first space lab, basically.
I don't know that one.
It fell out of the sky.
Oh. Well, technically everything up there is falling all the time.
It is. Yes, that's the definition of orbit. Yes, you are correct.
Orbit.
It's pretty interesting. I love space, man. I love when they I've been talking.
I'll
about
tell you
it.
what.
Cool.
I was back in high school, I remember seeing it cracks me up because I actually just saw a video where there's just stupid questions because teachers think they know more than they do. And it was a math teacher that had, tell me why 2/3 isn't always the same as 4/6.
Say that again.
It is always the same.
Wait, what?
Say that one more time.
That it says, tell me why 2/3 isn't always the same as 4/6. That was a math problem on a test. Except it is. It's math. There is no other answer. It's
like
reduced.
Common Core.
4/6 reduced is 2/3. I mean, it's just like, so anyway, this person had a video saying, tell me what I'm missing. This is an actual problem on one of my children's tests. What am I missing? And I'm like, you're not missing anything. It's math. It's not a word problem, nothing. It's math.
So there was a interesting video with Joe Rogan and Terrence Howard, right? Where
Terrence Howard thinks he knows more than he does. But anyway,
wait.
story.
Did you see the second video when they had a actual world-renowned physicist, scientist? This guy, I can't remember his name, but he's actually was the only person. Neil deGrasse Tyson completely shoved Terrence Howard aside.
Yeah,
said this is complete bullshit. Basically, is what he said.
And he explained it in a video. I watched that video.
He did, but then Joe Rogan got somebody to actually sit down with Terrence and say what's a reach, what has merit, what all the other stuff. And there was a couple things that he said that was like those little things that he made, and the different terms that he was using. But I watched it all. It was 3 hours long. It was this long podcast. I was listening to it.
The thing with the Neil deGrasse video was he didn't want to discourage Terrence Howard because he's like, look, he's trying to really think things out, and this is common. It's peer review. People will make false assumptions when you are researching, and this happens. He's like, there's a couple of false assumptions that he made very early that affect his results.
Right.
And
you have to watch the
what he
response.
thought was true wasn't true. He's like, there's some really great scientists where this happens. Tesla is actually one of them. There was something that he thought he had discovered and he didn't discover it. Now, obviously he discovered what he's famous for, but there was something else. He's like, look, this is not because it's Terrence Howard. This is because this is part of science. So he really was giving him a break.
You have to watch the second part of that where they have the physicist, the guy that I can't remember this guy's name. He's actually world renowned. He was there talking with Terrence, going through every single thing. And he tells him like, okay, no, that's not true. And this is why it's not true. Right. And he explained it. And it was, but then he said a couple things that complimented Terrence and said, oh, you're on to something here. This is great. And I would back you up on this 150%. And it was just a very interesting thing. But I think 50%, I think it was about a 50-50 split between what Terrence was claiming was complete BS and what things that he was on to something with. So it was actually pretty cool. It was pretty cool to watch because I'm into the science stuff. And but he did say the science community today is not like the way it was 100 years ago, where people were open to different ideas and to talk. Now you get shot out of the sky the minute something sounds so ridiculous. No one is as open-minded as they once were. It was a pretty interesting podcast to watch. If you guys like it, go look for
the reason why I got on this line of thinking was I had a question that I still remember in high school AP physics class, and it was can you launch something from the ground and send it to orbit? In other words, it does not have any propulsion. It's just that initial blast is the only amount that you have. Can you send it to orbit? And I did all the math and I showed how it was possible. And I got the problem wrong. And the teacher's response was, well, that amount of force isn't realistic. That could never happen. And I was like, wait a minute, that wasn't the question. I'm not saying whether or not
that's what I'm saying.
Realistically possible to generate that much force, but it's a simple, weight ratio and
well, did you see there's a new company called Spin Launch? Where
No,
they're-
I
they're-
know,
I'm
and
just
I
saying,
know
like,
that there
it's
are.
possible.
It is possible. I know. Well, think of the super guns.
Right.
The
well,
super
they had
guns
that
were
too,
able
yeah.
to do that,
In
and I
World
was
War
like,
II, yeah.
I'm proven right.
But see, this is the thing though, because for a very brief moment of my life, I wanted to be an astrophysicist. I went to school to study physics, and then I got out of it, and I wanted to go to the military. I had a bunch of different things as a kid, but one of the cool things is like that this guy said in the Terrence Howard interview the second go around when they brought the physicist in, he said, he goes that, you know, this is the problem with the science community. He goes, and he actually took a dig on Neil deGrasse Tyson. He said he shouldn't have did that. He said he should have just sat down with him and did a one-on-one and not redline his paper. He goes, it's so closed today compared to what it was when Einstein was around. Because people go and look at what Einstein, everything he did, theory of relativity and all the other stuff, right? But people don't ever talk about what was debunked and what was not true that he came up with in some of his theories, because back then they didn't slander you for it. They didn't go out there and say, oh, you're full of shit. You know, and speaking of which, somebody went up to Einstein and said, how does it feel to be a national celebrity? He says, don't ask me, ask Nikola Tesla. Einstein revered Tesla as one of the smartest men ever.
Right.
Way smarter than he ever was ever. And it was crazy. It was just a crazy thing. I've watched all kinds of stuff on this.
I will say, by the way, that part of the Oppenheimer movie was fascinating.
Oh, to see Einstein? Yeah.
Yeah, to see Einstein and him like interact, and I was like, yeah, I guess they would have been alive at about the same time.
No, they were.
Yeah.
No,
I know.
I think Tesla was old. I don't know which one was older, because Tesla died in the late 40s, 50s. I think he died. I think Tesla was older, wasn't he?
I think so, but I think
Tesla was older. He was Serbian. Yeah, he was Serbian. Yeah, Tesla was Serbian. Anyway, sorry, getting off topic, but it was.
No, that's all right.
100 Air says Neil's process was a known practice of peer review. No, right, I agree.
Exactly.
But the way that this guy, you have to watch the second interview with Joe Rogan. You guys have to watch it. The guy that's there like, there were some parts I'm watching, I'm like, oh, that's gotta hurt. He just said that. He goes, no, this is. He goes, you can make all these little fancy structures that you want. It doesn't mean that any of it's true. And like he came down on Terrence a couple times, but he also complimented him while he did that. He goes, look, this is not personal, but you want a peer review? This is one-on-one, on it. And then you got Joe Rogan just sitting there going.
But typically peer reviews aren't one-on-one. You send out a paper and then you get a response.
Mm-hmm.
So
he was 86, passed in 1943. Nikola Tesla. When did Einstein die then? Einstein died after that. Didn't he die in like the 50s or 60s? I think. We should have static to DC everywhere, but greed. I agree, man. Tesla's stuff was so far ahead, but then you had assholes like what was his name? Everybody thought created the light bulb and he didn't. Edison, Thomas Edison. Like, they think he created all that stuff. He had a part in it. Tesla was responsible for the creation of a lot of that. He worked for him, and he took credit for a lot of his work. Edison was a political fraud. Don't get me started on that whole fucking thing. I'm serious. He was a fraud. That's just what it is. It's just what it is. It's money, right? Same thing with the Radiant guys. They're frauds. Edison was a fraud. It's all about money. When money came in, it all changes everybody. Changes the course of history. Changes everything.
I got to say, Hawk, when you said you're into the science stuff, it reminded me of Jesse Pinkman.
Who's
that? Science, bitch.
It really is. Edison was a complete and utter fraud, and because of politics, it was also. Did you know that the first vehicle by Henry Ford, actually the first design, for the Ford, was electric, and the guys who own the oil plants, Rockefellers, all those big guys, they said, you're going to make a combustion engine, and that's what you're going to do. Because it's going to make us money. And that was it. They had electric cars in 1912, 1913. There was electric cars. We've had the electric cars are nothing new. A lot of people are not educated enough, and you'd be so surprised. Our community is. We have a lot of smart people, but go ask a normal person when they think electric cars were designed, and they'll say, "Oh yeah, Tesla when he came out with that in 2013." About 125 years too late.
Well, yeah, but there's been different electric cars along the way too.
Well, yeah, but none of them have picked up steam like his have. But
Well, and a lot of that has been artificially suppressed. You know, like
Crypto Bedell.
Yeah.
Sorry, Crypto Bedell hit it on the head. Westinghouse is a fraud also. They hired Tesla and took his work. That is true. Westinghouse was a part of it. JP Morgan Chase was one of those guys that was in the oil industry at the time, and he funded that big tower that he had for free energy. He bankrupted the whole project. He knew that would take over the entire industry. He had a way to pull electricity from the atmosphere. You wouldn't need engines and nuclear and all this other stuff. You wouldn't need it. He goes, there's energy everywhere. I just designed a device that pulls it all, from the atmosphere. There's millions and millions of terawatts of energy that float around in the atmosphere. More than we could ever produce with nuclear or oil. It's just floating up there. One lightning strike could power the whole nation. Like it's insane.
Tell your other story about
which one?
About the guy you just were talking about.
Who? Oh, the Titanic one?
Yeah.
Oh God. Oh my God. Yeah, he owned the White Star Line. His competitors were on the Titanic, and about an hour before he was supposed to get there, he couldn't get on the ship because his art collection was delayed. He had John Jacob Astor was on there, was one of the leading guys to control the Fed. Who's the other guy? One of the guys that owned Macy's was on there. He was one of the richest men in the world at the time. There was one other guy, and I can't remember his name, but he was in the metal industry, and he was on there too. And they were all fighting for control of the Fed because the Fed's a private entity. So, and JP Morgan wanted to create it. They were against it. So if you look at it, it's just a conspiracy. It doesn't mean anything, but there's a lot of truth behind it because he did miss his trip on the Titanic, and his competitors, all the competitors were there, and all of them died. None of them thought for the richest men on the ship. They didn't decide to get on a lifeboat. Okay. They had a 50-50 chance of getting off. Okay. All the competitors died. And then who created the Fed? JP Morgan. That's the truth. That's what really happened. And you know what happens? Because later on, 100 years later now, 110 or whatever years later now it's all, it's all right. Everybody's dead from back then. Doesn't matter anymore. So now we can say it. And that's what will happen in our generation 100 years from now. Our grandkids will be like, oh man, I can't believe my dad lived through election fraud and all that other shit because they're just talking about that now. I'm just saying. So I'm giving an example.
That's why all the Republicans in Georgia who were involved in the election were like, yeah, this is a bunch of bull crap. The election was good. The Republicans.
I'm just saying. It'll all come out eventually. The truth always comes out eventually. It always comes to light one way or another, where it's 100 days, 100 months, or 100 years. Eventually, it always comes to light. Eventually. And if I look at past human nature and past human history, there's been fraud since we were able to walk.
Zarkov.
What do you say? Sir, this is Wendy's.
Sir, this is a Wendy's.
This is a Wendy's. Oh my God.
And they're ranting to the drive-thru.
Oh, so great. That was a good one. But the Titanic one was effed up. There's a lot of things with Titanic that went wrong.
Sorry, that just reminded me of something. So my wife was in Tampa for last Halloween, and a guy came up, and he was dressed up as like one of the Good Burger guys from the movie.
Yeah,
and
the Good Burger.
My wife recognized him right away and said, whatever the line is, "May I take your order, please?" Welcome to Good Burger. So she says all that, and he's like, "See, kids, people do know who I am," because the kids were like, nobody will ever know who the heck you're dressed up as.
Oh my gosh, Keenan and it was Keenan and Kel, wasn't it, in that movie? Right?
Yeah,
Keenan and Kel.
Yeah.
I didn't see the second one. Did they come out? There was a second one, right? Wasn't there like a remake?
A remake, or not a remake, like a part 2 or something that recently came out. Yeah.
I didn't see it. I tell you what, the part 2 for Coming to America 2 was awful. I only watched it for nostalgic purposes only. I think if anybody didn't get to see that.
Alrighty, guys, we've been going almost 2 hours. I think we are going to call it a night. Well, Ted says they just got done filming the second one in Pittsburgh. Oh, so it hasn't even come out yet?
I don't know. I haven't
so maybe it
followed
hasn't come out yet.
Did you know
Maybe that will be
Titanic
done.
was a remake from 1997? You know it was a remake?
No, I did not know that.
It was a remake from the first movie that they released was 6 months after the Titanic sunk. Was the first movie. Then there was a big one a year later, and then that one from a year later, I think it was called A Night. What the fuck was it? Night to Remember, or A Night that was something like that. It was called. And then the one with Jack and Rose and don't let go, Jack. No, I love you. That one was the remake of the one in the early 1900s because it was the same story.
Got it.
Pretty cool.
I still don't understand why. It was a good movie, but why would anybody want to watch all those people dying over and over and over again? There are people that will watch that movie.
Well,
like we watch Independence Day. They watch that movie over and over. I'm like, ugh.
You know what? I think because I think a lot of people want to live in a fairy tale, and people don't like reality, so they watch movies that are like
I don't know.
fairy tales.
I key on the fact of so many people died for a senseless reason.
Subtly Mining says they just watch it for her tits. Let's just be honest. Oh my god! But let me ask you this question though: why people watch Titanic 100 times over? Well, why did the Passion of Christ make over was it $5 billion worldwide or something crazy? People watch that more than once, so people just do what they do. I watched Independence Day so many fucking times I could recite the whole movie from start to finish.
I agree. I'm the same way, but that's different. That's like fictional death. It didn't actually happen in real life.
It did happen. Okay, and Russell Case sacrificed his life on July 4th and took down the ship. It fucking happened. Remember Russell Case. What's wrong with you? Don't ever disrespect Russell Case. Okay?
That
the
was,
last
by the
fucking
way,
words he had to the ship was "up yours."
That was the best presidential speech ever.
It was, yeah. It was pretty dope. It was that was probably one of the best speeches of all time.
Yeah.
I mean, I stood up. And when he gets that, I stand up off the couch. I'm just like this. I really do. I mean, I can't wait for William to be like old enough where he can not stare at the TV for more than 3 seconds, and where he can stare at the TV for more than 3 seconds and just watch a movie, because we're totally watching all the classics. We're doing all the Stallone movies. We're doing the Independence Days. We're doing Dumb and Dumber. We're going through the 80s and 90s all the way up to the early 2000s.
There you go.
If you're gonna go through the 80s, make sure you watch my cult favorite, Better Off Dead.
Which one?
Better Off Dead.
I didn't see that
John
one.
Cusack. You gotta watch it. It's hilarious.
Yeah,
that's the one where I want my $2. The paper boy. It's a meme. It's a famous meme. That's the movie that came from.
Yeah, I don't remember. High Root Farms. There was one before that in the early, in like the 30s and 40s that was huge. I can't remember the name of it. I don't hear no fat lady. Damn the fat lady, get us out of here. Look at Automatic Beats throwing lines in.
Gaming with Smokey Dan. I never watched Schindler's List. I can't even say it. Schindler's List.
Tombstone was good. Yeah, Tombstone was good.
Tombstone was good.
Yeah.
Tombstone. I'm your Huckleberry.
Yeah. What was his name? The movie was after. What was the guy's name? I can't remember at the moment. Anyway, whatever. I don't know. I can't remember. Don't forget Die Hard. Oh yeah. I mean, I like Die Hard, man. Die Hard's a Christmas movie.
Oh, don't say that in front of Sunflower Mama.
It's a fucking Christmas movie. I hope she hears
Just
that.
because it happens on Christmas doesn't mean it's a Christmas movie.
Listen, Professor Snape was in that movie. Okay.
Yes.
He played Hans. Which I'll be honest with you, total generational thing. I didn't pick that up until later. Like, I really didn't. I had no idea Professor Snape was Hans in fucking Die Hard. Went right over my head for years. I swear to God, I never put it 2 and 2 together.
Oh, I did. By the way, Sunflower Mama just said, Die Hard is not a Christmas movie. In the background.
If you ask Bruce Willis says Die Hard is a Bruce Willis movie.
Yeah. Poor Bruce Willis, man. He's going through a hard time with his health.
Yeah, he is.
That sucks, man.
Yeah.
Weekend at Bernie's. That's another one you got to watch.
Oh, Weekend at
That's a good
Bernie's.
one.
Come on.
Everybody knows Weekend at Bernie's, man. It's a classic. You guys ever see the John Leguizamo in The Pest?
Oh, fuck yes. That was
Oh,
that's what introduced me to John Leguizamo. That movie,
yeah.
I can recite that fucking line for line.
You know,
is the
he's
movie?
done. It's called The Pest. It's an
Yeah.
old stupid movie from like the early 90s. But I can tell you this. John Leguizamo is probably one of the most underrated voice actors for cartoons and
Oh,
animated
dude.
series ever.
He's a great actor.
He
In
is
general, he's a
amazing.
great actor.
Yeah.
Yeah, he plays the sloth, and it was so funny. There's like a
Ice Age,
story
yeah.
like he just happened to do that voice as a joke, and they're like, "That's it."
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny when you watch voice actors do the voices, like, you know, like they record it when they're doing it, and they're so animated in there.
I saw an interview once. The guy that does the voice for SpongeBob got that job because he was interviewing for a different voice role, and he came out of the room and was like cussing up a storm and all this, and the people from across the hall were like, "Hey, you come in here and do that again," and they hired him for do SpongeBob.
Yeah.
He's like,
Yeah,
"Son of a
it's-
mother."
Yeah, that's how it happened. I thought for the longest time though, I thought SpongeBob was a woman.
Mm-mm.
Or was it Patrick? Oh no, it wasn't Patrick. I don't know. I thought there was some weird, definitely some weird voice actors that you thought were like guys and they were actually women.
No, I
Yeah.
think isn't it Bart Simpson? That's a
Bart
female.
Simpson's a woman. Yeah,
Yeah.
the original voice.
Is it
of Bart
really?
Simpson.
Yeah.
Wow, that's insane. Yeah, Bart Simpson. Yeah. I don't know. So weird. I mean, who was the voice actor that did? Who's the guy that did all the Looney Tune characters? What was his name? The one guy did all the
He
characters.
did almost all the characters.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know what his
He
name
died. Yeah, he died early on, like in like late night, in like in the 90s. What was his name? He did everybody in the Looney Tunes. I cannot remember his name. Integra guy says Tombstone equals Wyatt Earp. Yeah, Wyatt Earp. Right.
Yeah, Val Kilmer.
Mel Blanc. Yeah, that was his name. Yep. Mel
Oh
Blanc.
yeah.
He did all the voices for all those characters, man.
Mm.
It's such a good time. I love movies, dude. I could watch movies 100 times over. I'm serious. Like, I could watch. I'm a huge fan of like the Game of Thrones, Harry Potter series, Independence Day. The second Independence Day was just fucking awful. It was a terrible, terrible movie. I can't wait for the third one to come out.
It was basically the same story.
No, it was awful. They
Change.
killed off Will Smith. It was terrible because he was being an asshole and said he didn't want to do any sci-fi movies, and then he got enough pressure. Now they're doing a third one allegedly. So,
they're
and
bringing him
Bad
back
Boys.
to life.
Well, apparently they're going to say that he was lost in space somewhere, and he landed on some rogue planet or some shit, and during like the training exercise or something. I don't know. That's from what I heard. It's just rumored at the moment. But the kid who played the son, Dylan, was I'm sorry, like it was just awful. It was just an awful actor. It was terrible. It was so bad.
Somebody clip that.
It was terrible, man. It was so bad, dude. The guy was awful. Oh, so bad, man. Terrible. Was it awful? What was his name? Who's the guy who played the president? What was his name? Who played the president? Who gave the speech? What was his name, Max? The actor.
Isn't that Paxton? No, that's not Paxton.
That's not Bill Paxton. No. Rest in peace, Bill Paxton.
Yeah.
Can't believe he died too.
I can't think of his name.
The Matrix Revolutions. The Matrix Resurrections wasn't
Bill Pullman.
bad.
Bill
Bill
Pullman,
Pullman, right. His son is in Top Gun.
Yeah.
Bad. Doesn't look anything like him, in my opinion, though.
I agree, but you can kind of see a little bit of resemblance.
You think so? No.
A little bit, but only because it's like, oh, well, yeah, I can see it.
It's so funny. We're talking about movies, and we have the same amount of viewers we had earlier. Everybody's interested in this.
Actually,
I was like,
gone up
look at
by
that. I'm
a
like,
couple.
we haven't seen a fall off, so I'm like, okay.
Nope.
Yeah,
Actually,
Gaming with
went up.
Smokey
We were
Dan,
like
this was-
93.
This was interesting. Fun fact: the movie Idiocracy. The wardrobe wanted shoes for the movie, so they contacted a startup company to use their shoes and laughed about them becoming big in the future. They were Crocs.
I believe it. I believe it. I wonder who won the argument between Star Trek and Star Wars, because I feel like there was only two types
who
of
won
people.
the argument?
Yeah,
What are you
which
talking-
one was better? In your
That's
opinion.
it's the age old It's age old. You can't come to a conclusion.
I can come to a conclusion very easily. I can see King's
yeah, and
face
I would,
right
and
now.
you'd
He
be
says
wrong.
Star Wars.
No, you'd be wrong.
Get the fuck out of here.
Star Trek.
No.
It depends.
No.
Yeah, it depends. I like Star Trek and Star Wars, so
I like them both too.
I like them
but
both,
Look,
but I like Star
Look,
Trek much better.
it depends. If you're going to compare Next Generation against Episode 1, Star Trek all day. But if you're going to compare Voyager against Return of the Jedi, Star Wars all day. It depends.
No.
Next
Yeah, come
Generation was fire. That was
No.
that was
the
best.
storyline in Star Wars was so much better.
Oh,
The Skywalker
Oh my god!
saga.
No!
Hold on.
No.
The
Everybody's
Skywalker
the
saga
same of the
was you
middle
can't beat
three.
it.
Come on.
Picard can eat shit. It's not as good as Star Wars.
It literally is the same formula with 4, 5, 6, and 9. Certainly 7 and 8 could be argued the same thing, but it.
I like Star Trek. I like the new movies. But what's his name?
Yeah,
who's
those
the
are
guy
really
who plays
good.
Kirk. Huh?
Yeah, those are really good. Really,
No, they're
well
good.
done.
They're good. The guy who did Spock played amazing. I like the movies. Storyline was okay, but the special effects, everything was great.
I loved Scotty in that movie. That was
Scotty was good. Yeah,
the doctor, not
Bones.
Bones. Yeah,
Yeah, Bones.
he's like, I can fix it. I can fix it.
yeah, no, it's.
I love that.
Is it Pocket Change goes? Is it bad? I don't know the difference between Star Wars and Star Trek. No,
that is bad. Yes,
it's okay.
No, that's bad.
You-
That's bad.
I agree with John English Tech. We'll give you a pass. That's okay. That's all right.
No pass. You got to at least know one or the other.
You and Kristen can get together and not understand it together, because every time I play Star Wars, like I'm like when okay, so for example, when the last Skywalker came out, I was ecstatic. I really was, because it was none of that woke bullshit that was on Star Wars for all the other stuff, and it was traditional Jon Favreau, channeling George Lucas Star Wars. It's really what it was, right? And when the last Skywalker came out, it was amazing. I mean, a lot of people hated on Rey and the whole thing. No, man, it was awesome. What is Ted saying? It might affect our friendship. Star Wars is nothing more than talking about the internment camps who put them there to unsubscribe podcast. Just went over it today. What?
What?
Star Wars is nothing more than talking about the internment camps. What are you saying? I don't know what that means. I've only seen the Family Guy version of Star Wars. Yeah, that was pretty good. What was the parody called back in the day with Rick Moranis of Star Wars?
Spaceballs.
Spaceballs, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Oh, man.
We went to Plaid.
Merchandising.
Oh, my God. Rick Moranis was awesome, man. You know why he stopped acting? He stopped acting to take care of his family. He walked away from acting in the 90s. Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah.
Star Wars is magic, no basis in science. Star Trek magic is plausible.
Yep.
You mean to tell me we can't build a lightsaber?
I can tell you that the flip phone from Motorola the idea came directly from the original Star Wars.
I agree with that statement, because I've heard that there was an interesting documentary I watched not too long ago about how movies in Hollywood actually, what's the word I want to use? Kind of paved the way for like future innovations.
Their creativity and storylines create products that can eventually become reality.
Right.
The 70s, the thought that there would be anything like that, far from the thought.
It was
anybody.
even Star Wars was like, it was crazy for people to watch. Yeah, no, it's definitely paved the way. I used to have the phone ringtone for the communique for the Star Trek.
Mm-hmm.
I used to have that as my ringtone. Yeah, I was geeking out on that. I mean, I don't get me wrong. I'm not hating on Star Trek. I like Star Trek. I just personally like Star Wars better. That's just me. If we can,
you can be wrong.
That's fine. 100%.
No, we used to get together with I was in a contemporary church choir, not like guitars, drums, that type of thing. Anyway, and every Sunday night we'd have a rehearsal, and then we'd go over to one person's house and watch the episode from that week. And it was a good time. Good
Is
time.
anybody watching House of Dragons? Game of Thrones?
Mm-mm.
Nobody's watching House of the Dragon season 2. Am I the only one? Guys in chat, help me out here. Come on.
I thought you were busy. I don't have time to watch TV.
I don't sleep at night. So after I play a couple rounds of PUBG with King, I go lay in bed and I put it on before I fall asleep. That's the only time I get to watch. God, season 2 is amazing.
Did you ever get into The Boys from Amazon?
No,
I didn't, but that looked
Smokey
good.
Man just said he watched.
That's
He's
a
watching
really
it.
good one. Yeah, the new season is out and being released. That one I watch. That was a really good one. And there was another Amazon. It was Incredible or Invincible. Invincible? It's a cartoon, but it's like really fucking bloody. And it's superheroes, and it's like this, alien superhero comes down from, whatever planet and is like the world superhero, and then all of a sudden he's not, and he kills all the other superheroes. And it's really bloody, and it's fucking amazing. You'd love it, Hawk. You would love it.
If you guys are a fan of like history and like hypotheticals, like if the war was lost and they won kind of thing, there's a really interesting show on Amazon called The Man in the High Castle, and it shows very great. I'm so pissed that they stopped it after I don't know how many seasons, like 5 seasons I think. But one of the best shows I ever watched, even aside to Game of Thrones, it depicts the world as if America lost World War II. And how the Nazis took over America. And it was like, it opens up with this huge opening in season 1. And it was like crazy to watch. I was glued to the TV because it was a little bit of sci-fi in there too, but it was really good. If you guys haven't seen it, called The Man in the High Castle.
It's one of those things where it could have turned out.
It could have turned out that way, right? It was pretty good, pretty good show. There was another one called Hunters that was good with Al Pacino when they were hunting the old escaped Nazi officers around the country, and they were trying to find them all, and then they go and they kill people. They did some weird shit. Like, oh man, that one was awesome too. Hunters was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of them went to like Argentina, went to South America.
King, what's your favorite series, King? I can't hear him. Is he muted?
Everybody's commenting. Yeah, well, I'm muted for the sound, man. Just for them to hear
I
me.
appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah. I haven't said a word. I don't know. I'm not that into movies as these guys are.
I love movies, man.
I watch movies and stuff, but yeah, I mean, it's not topic. Like, what do I usually watch? Like, if I have time to watch like TV, I watch Gold Rush with Parker, and then I watch Shark Tank because I want to sit in one of those seats one day.
Yeah. Weren't you watching Vikings? You were a Game of Thrones fan, didn't you? You watched Game of Thrones, didn't you?
Yeah, I watched Game of Thrones. I watched the Vikings one. I mean, there's some other shows I like. I like Suits. I like White Collar. Burn Notice. I don't know if everybody remembers that show, Burn Notice.
Oh yeah,
like the Golden
I
Girls.
watched all those shows. I didn't watch
one of the best TV shows.
I watched Suits and I watched Burn Notice. The other one I'd only seen a few episodes of, but my daughter actually just started watching from the beginning, watching Suits, which I thought was really cool because I love that show.
Yeah, that was a good show. Blacklist is another good show.
I never saw that one, but I know that one.
Yeah,
I knew a lot of people that really liked that show.
Golden Girls.
Really dark.
Golden Girls. 100%. 100 fucking %. I don't give a shit what anybody says. That's one of the funniest fucking shows there ever was. The Golden Girls. All day long.
Another one, if you like end of the world kind of stuff, is Into the Badlands. It's an AMC one.
I haven't seen it, but I've heard of it.
seen it.
Yeah, it's called Into the Badlands.
One I'm getting into that I didn't watch the first time around is Dexter.
Yeah, I've seen all those.
Did anybody get into Walking Dead? I just couldn't. I wasn't one of those people. Did you really? I couldn't get into it.
Until it was like season 7 or 8. After Negan was around, I started losing a lot of interest. But yeah, the first couple of seasons, dude, it was me and the wife every week.
It just didn't grab me, man. I don't know. I just wasn't a fan.
It was.
Yeah.
Well, I was the same way on Game of Thrones. It didn't grab me for the first season until they chopped
It's
off the
slow.
king's head.
Yeah, it's
And I was
slow.
like, I'm in.
It's slow. Yeah, no. After same thing with House of the Dragon. After season 1, it just has to give you the backstory.
Yeah.
After season 1, season 2 right now is like I can't fucking wait till tomorrow. Like I want to watch it like now. Like it just fucking mind blowing. The last episode, I was like, I woke. My son was sleeping next to me, and obviously because I can't get him to sleep, so I just put him in bed with us. And I'm watching the episode, and an ending happened. And I'm like, get the fuck out of here! And I woke up. I forgot that they were. I was like, in my mind, I was single with no kids for like 3 seconds when I said that. And then Kristen and the baby wake up, and they're looking at me like, "Well, what happened?" I'm like, "Nothing. This fucking episode sucked." Like it's what a cliffhanger. Like I was just mad. It's like 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm like walking in the kitchen to get something to drink. I'm pissed off. But Game of Thrones will do that to you. It did that to me on the Red Wedding. The Red Wedding.
Yeah.
The cliffhanger from the Red Wedding was awful. It was terrible. It was. I took the DVD and I wanted to throw it in the. I took the remote and wanted to throw it across the fucking house. It was awful. Ugh. All right, I'm good now. Just wanted to share that experience with you guys. It was terrible. I hate. I almost want the show to just like do all the seasons, get it over with, so I can binge watch the whole thing in like the next 5 years. Then you miss everything and you're not with the time, so whatever.
What about the ending of Sopranos?
Terrible also. But here's the thing though. How are you supposed to end it? Right?
Yeah.
Like the ending of Thrones. How are you supposed to fucking end it? Like I loved how the ending, everybody hated the ending of Game of Thrones. She went fucking crazy and she burned the fucking city down. But fuck them bells. Burn the fucking city. I was rooting for her the whole time. She was on top of which dragon was she on? I don't even know. But she just burned down the whole damn city. I was like, yeah, burn it the fuck down. Fry everybody. I was a fan. I was a Daenerys fan to the very end, and I will always be. I didn't give a shit. Everybody was like, oh, that's so mean. She went crazy. She was supposed to liberate. She did enough of that shit. They pushed her to her limit. Fuck them all. Burn the whole goddamn thing down. Start over. Just like King says. Hit the button, reset, take King's Landing, and swipe it away. It was beautiful.
So, Highwood Farm says, or was like, who shot JR, right, Max? And I'm like, no, I never watched Dallas. But yeah, back in the 70s, that was like the big thing. Who shot JR?
Or who shot Mr. Burns? Remember that? When
Sure,
the Simpsons,
right?
yeah, it did this. They did the same
The
thing.
remake,
It ended in the episode ended in they killed Mr. Burns, shot Mr. Burns, and all summer long it was like, who shot Mr. Burns?
They're making a sequel to Game of Thrones called Snow, about life beyond the wall after the first go around. But it's heating up right now in House of the Dragon, man. You better go watch the first season and get into it. It's heating up right now. I can't.
Is that a House of Dragon? Is that a prequel then? That happened before?
Yes, it's 200 years before Daenerys Targaryen, when they ruled King's Landing.
Got it.
You gotta watch it. It's amazing. It's again.
Send up another email address and get a free.
That's it. Get another email address. Yeah, get it for free. Do whatever you do. If you want to use my HBO Max login, I'll send it. I don't care. Just get in and watch it. It's amazing. I get it for free with Verizon. It's pretty cool. But yeah.
Oh yeah, I think I do too. Holy shit.
You get it free with Verizon. I think it's with Verizon and someone else. I get Disney Plus for free too with Verizon.
Yeah, I do too.
I'm grandfathered into that old plan.
Oh, nice.
I mean, I'm sure you pay for it, but yeah, I like to feel that it's free, so it just justifies why I keep watching it.
I'm sure you are getting a deal. You're getting a deal.
Probably not. You're probably paying more than if you paid it directly, but doesn't matter.
Probably.
Alrighty, guys. Well, we have now been going over 2 hours, well over 2 hours. We're gonna call it a night because I am definitely getting tired. Appreciate you guys all being here. Hopefully Chump will be back next week. We do miss him. No, he was really tired this week with building that pergola. So hope he is enjoying his time with his family.
Yeah.
Didn't even bother to check in though. Did he?
Pocket did.
Pocket's here. He's watching. He's probably just lurking in the background.
I keep telling him he should have hired someone to help him out.
That's so fucked up.
That's
so fucked up.
No, it's funny because we have 2 Juans at work. And we're like, which one?
Which one? That one. Not that one. The other one.
Right.
Total dad joke.
And the good part about it is they both laugh at that joke every single time. They think it's funny.
DJ Mine shows up just as we're leaving. Son of a.
Well, he probably just woke up.
No,
Or just got back from the gym.
Yeah. Got back from the gym. Do they have those out there? Maybe got back from a workout, a run or something.
Uh-oh.
He's been gone over a month already, man. It's like flying by. He'll be back. He'll be back soon.
Let's talk at the end of the year, DJ. Let's talk at the end of the year.
Talk at the end of the year.
Enjoy it while it lasts.
Good time to buy both. I'll tell you that.
What was that?
I said it's a good time to buy both.
It is. Yeah, they're actually both down way more than the overall market. So over the last 7 days. Yeah, LTC is at 21, CASP is at 23. So we shall see. Alrighty, guys. Thanks again for tuning in, everybody. Appreciate you guys all being here. And we will be heading into, at least some of us will be heading into the Misfit mining chat.
We need to do
a little bit of PUBG.
We need to do some movie trivia night. We really do.
Do that.
We could do a giveaway on movie. You know, I'm going to organize this. I'm going to do a movie trivia night, and we're going to do some giveaways. I got some stuff to give away.
Sounds good. I
I'm
like
down
it.
for it. We're just going to recite lines from movies, just like how King did it on like the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire kind of thing when he did it for Dupran. We're going to do it like that. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. I'm going to get some hard ones.
I like it. I like the idea.
We're going to give away some cassette tapes.
Don't laugh. My daughter just bought a cassette player.
I love it.
Why?
Because she wanted to check out the technology, and she's like, it's more real. It's more texture.
Because it was probably $7. I mean, why
No,
not?
it was not.
That's
It was like
expensive.
it was a Nakamichi. It was not cheap.
It's amazing how technology goes from being really expensive down to really cheap, and then all of a sudden it's worth antique and it's back up to really expensive again.
It's not. It wasn't super expensive. She bought it for much less than it was originally. I mean,
I hope
this was
so.
like over $1,000 for a tape deck. She didn't pay that.
Oh my God, I remember it. I remember having to put your finger in it and to wind it back like this when I was a kid. Oh my God.
Use a pencil, man.
Nah, man, it was you scraped up your index finger and just went like this.
All right. I am really leaving now. Thank you guys all for being here. I appreciate it. And we will see you next Saturday night for Saturday Night Live, and see me on Monday night, see King and Hawk on Tuesday night.
Be kind.
Alrighty, guys.
Be kind. Rewind.
Rewind.
That's right.
Yes. Good old Blockbuster. Alrighty, guys. Have a good one. We'll see you later.
Peace.